Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared with my lovely wife, Kara.
Hello. I leaned in towards the sink. With the sink on.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, hold on, let me explain. And my shirt kind of was like this, and I leaned into the sink.
Yeah.
And I leaned in, and I stood up, and I felt cold, and it went... This thing is waterproof on the inside.
It's a nice shirt. Giant Mouse sent this, by the way. Looks really nice.
Besides that, but
ooh, and I got
is waterproof.
I got a really nice Giant Mouse to show you guys. We'll look at it in a first impressions video, but it's very, very nice. Anyways, yeah, it's a nice sweater. It seems like it's a real tough material too.
But like when I stood up though, what you have to understand is like this part was in the stream of water, which is why it's wet. But like apparently it was pooling up like as I was leaned down. So when I stood up, a stream of water went under my shirt, all on the floor, and I was so confused. Like, where's the water coming from? And it was coming from inside. It was I've never had that happen in my life.
So we're gonna do some knife talk. About some knives. Kara's got some knives here. She wants to show you guys that she purchased at Blade Show. Yeah. And we are also, I have a obviously I said the story. So we have a story for story time at 9 o'clock, right after Fragrance of the Day. But let's get into some of these knives that, or you know what, let's let people get in here first. Also, I want to announce that next week, I know I said something about a 250K giveaway. We're gonna do it next week. And the reason why is because we have the patron giveaway, and I don't think it's right to not do that first, then the 250K. So, and that way we can drop them off at the same time.
Reach 250?
Yeah, but that way we can drop them off at the same time, you know, because we have the knives for the Patreons here. So we're going to do the 250K giveaway live next Saturday. So do not miss the Bang Gang, or not Bang Gang, the live on Saturday next week at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. What's up, Matisfaction? How you doing, brother? Shout out to Matisfaction. Go and subscribe to his channel. Seems logical. Did you see that kukri in that that video I posted earlier? I did the craziest knives of Blade show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you got the kukri, and you even said his name. You were like, you better put the kukri in there. Seems logical.
There was a lot of kook reaction at this Blade show.
That one was dope. There was a couple like just, and it makes me want to buy one so bad. Some of the them crazy fixed blades, the ones that are like almost like hatchets.
No, don't say that. You know why? Because I was going fixed blade crazy at this show, and you were getting annoyed.
I never got annoyed.
Oh, he was mad.
That is so untrue.
He was like, "Why are you buying so many fixed blades?"
I never said that. I might have said, I might have said, man, you're on a fixed blade kick, because you were.
I was.
You're on a huge fixed blade kick. It was surprising too, because normally, I mean, I guess before the past couple months, you never were really into fixed blades.
Well, I've been telling everybody, thank you, sir, that I have felt dumb for not seeing the glory of a fixed blade, completely negating the pocket space issue for women. If I can have a neck knife, then I don't need a pocket.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I know what you mean, and it winds up working out for people like you. So
what does that mean?
No pockets,
like
no pockets. Oh. Like me, I have big pockets. I can carry whatever.
Yeah, you big pocket.
Not impressed with my deep space rock wall. I'm sending it back. Yeah, send it back. Yeah. If you're not happy with something, send it back. I mean, that's the beauty about buying USA made, is that you can 100% not only probably get refunded your money or get it replaced, and the warranty work is going to be far, far superior in the USA. Now, I'm not saying there's not companies that you know, do it shitty, and then some of the overseas companies do it really well, because that is true. There are some that do it great, but Tactile will take care of you. I've got to try now a lot of rock walls, and I got to say, most of them have been really, really good. I think I have felt 2 out of maybe like, well, after going to their shop, obviously I held dozens and dozens and dozens, but after holding, I don't know, 20 plus of them, I've only really felt 2 that weren't like, that I would say something was wrong. Now, obviously the ones because I did pocket checks at Tactile, or we did pocket checks. Some of those were rough as fuck, but they were supposed to be, because they were literally, what are they called? Where there were problems. Like there was problems.
QC, they were like taken out.
Right, they
Taken out
they
of
were
the
they had
cage.
QC issues, so they gave them to one of the workers, or the worker had beat the hell out of it, and you could just see like that it was just beat the hell out of. Don't
Sorry,
start.
we
Don't
look
you
so white.
don't start.
I'm like
Let's go
I'm
tanning
like
then.
5 shades darker than this in real life.
William says he bought his first Tucson, the TS 301. Well, that's a great one to buy. The 301 is a badass knife. There's about 6 to 12. I'd say about 12 Tucson that are just like amazing knives, and they knock them out of the park. And the 301 is one of them. Okay, now let's see how many people we have in here. How many people do we have in here?
85.
85. Okay, we'll wait about 3 more minutes, and then we'll start showing off some of these knives Kara got.
Well, I can do this dumb one. Well, that was so rude. It is
That
not
was
dumb.
so rude.
It wasn't.
Why don't you just leave it now and that's
So
like
and then
just,
so they all know.
Yeah. We won't even show that knife in this video.
Listen, I don't even know why I just said that because it's not dumb.
I
don't know. Why.
Somebody's dumb.
It was this one.
I know which one it was,
okay.
but we're
So
just not going to show it in this
Okay.
video now. We're not going to
Yeah,
show
now
it
we
at
have
all.
to wait.
Now you have to wait for another day.
It's not. It was just more insignificant of a purchase than the others. That's all.
Oh, you got yours today? Oh man, that's awesome. So he says he got his Sharp by Designs Mini Evo today. I am waiting for mine. How did you get yours? So man, you must be close by the place that you got it from. So with me, I got mine from Blade HQ, and that's where I'll be linking it from. And if they're sold out, I'll try to get a different link. But it always takes me at least like 4 days to get my stuff from them. But if it's GP, I get it like the next day. What's up?
Because they're really close to us.
I know.
Do seems logical's question. That's what we can do until we wait.
Oh, Aaron, that's badass.
Or not.
That I'm going to. The Arno Bernard El Mamba is a
La
badass knife. Very badass. Knives are cool, but can you talk about some of the folks you met at the show? Any that made a real strong impression? All of them. I mean, I can think of every single one of them.
Specifics.
What? If you can go ahead if you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead.
One of them I'll talk about when I actually get to the knife that I purchased from said people. So actually, every single knife that I'm going to show when I do show my knives has like a thing with the person attached to it. So you'll get to hear about at least 4 individuals.
I don't remember everybody's name. So first off, I'm not going to mention one without mentioning them all. I do remember some of their names, a few of them actually, but I don't remember them all. So I'm not going to sit here and go through their names.
John and Jamie from EMP EDC.
Yeah.
I stood there and talked to John. Okay, EMP EDC, their names are John and Jamie. His wife is Jamie. I stood there and talked to her for a while because their kids were there this time, which was cool. Because last time, I don't think that they were there because her daughter was looking for something and I found it for her and got it for her. And then this time she was there.
I was in line getting my MSI and Stitch with Screaming Pirate. That was cool. So we got to meet up.
You guys were in that line for so long.
I know.
You were like, Jared was like literally at the front of the counter, like at the counter. I was like, how long do you think you're going to be? He's like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm going to walk around.
An hour later.
It was like an hour later. And that's when I ran into Jamie.
Because literally it's like you'll be 2 people behind the counter. So like there'll be 3 people all together with you. And the person in the front will take 20 minutes to pick their knives. And they'll sit there and just deal with it.
It's
you
also
know?
like
and it's weird. Like,
at a bar
how do
you have to shove your way in?
Yeah, let me try this.
Like,
let me try this.
no
Let me try
line.
this. Right.
It's not a real line. It's like a mass of people, like a line that funnels into like 8 people at the counter.
Thank you, Green Barrier Games. I appreciate that, man. Hey, Jared, were you surprised how tall Hinder Collector was? No, not really. I kind of.
Was he tall?
Not that I remember. I mean, he was. I mean, I'm kind of tall, so
I don't remember him being. I walked by his
counter. I mean, if like okay, you know who's tall to me is LTK. That fucker's like 6'6".
When I talk to him, I'm like this.
Yeah, LTK is massive. Somebody asked me.
Tall.
Somebody says, "Is he really tall or are you just really short?" I said, "No, he's very tall."
No, because Jared's 6 foot, so I mean that's tall based off average, and like holy cow, he's tall. Both times, the last time I met him, he was sitting on a bar stool and he was tall.
He's massive. Yeah,
sitting
he's a big
down,
dude.
He was like
he's got to be 6'5" to 6'6".
No, he's probably like 6'8".
No, I don't think he's 6'8". I think he's
In
6'5"
my
to
eyes,
6'6". Maybe yeah,
like,
maybe you yeah.
Because
but anyways, We met so many amazing people. So many of them made us look really good, like seriously, and it was such a good time. And I'm so happy that everybody came up and shook our hands and was so cool.
We had
with
a
us.
good time with Ben Peterson from NEEVESKNIVES.
Well, we recorded it, but it's shit, so we can't use it.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when we went to
to the
we
party.
went to Tactile, had like a party at their shop after the blade show, and Ben was there, and I guess he had some plan to set up some darts, but he had this piece of so he was going to use a piece of plywood and a knife poster, and he was going to draw like a dart thing, and if you hit a certain colored circle, you would get like a prize that he bought. Well, the plywood that he had, I don't know where he got it from, if it was from the shop or he brought it, but it was too hard. So like nobody's darts were actually sticking, except for like this 9-year-old kid who was like, pew, pew, pew. But it was hilarious because everybody kept hitting the wall, and he was actively asking people, please don't hit the wall. This is a nice shop. And then like this, everyone's like, yeah, Kara, you go. I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm going to hit the wall. Instead of hitting the wall, I go ahead and pierce the garbage can that the thing was resting on. So, but it was a good time.
Yeah, it seems logical. He might be, I don't know how tall he is. He might be 6'1", 6'2". I don't know. I'm just saying it didn't stand out to me that he was super tall. But in pictures, you can't tell because sometimes you're hunched over, you're leaning, like you're doing things. Some people are standing really tall while another person's leaning. Like there's a bunch of pictures I've seen like where like I'm slouching, I'm leaning on people, you know, so I can't really base it off of a picture. But when I was standing there, you know, he seemed about as tall as me.
It's kind of like
but
how
I wasn't paying
people
attention
have
like
thought
that.
I was taller than you.
Plus also,
which is so funny.
Like when we were sitting there talking, he was behind the hinderer thing too. So I don't know if there's a step up or not. No, I'm not saying, but when we were talking, so when we took
you guys really close to, like, wasn't it like
we took a picture next to each other. Yeah, I took a lot of pictures with a lot of people, and I loved it. I think it was awesome because it made us look really good because some of the tables, like they didn't know who we were. And then when people would walk up and start asking for pictures, like they were like, "Who the fuck are these people?"
This happened.
So it made us look good.
It happened like 6 times where I would go up to a table by myself and I would start like talking to the person. And then Jerad would kind of come behind, and I'm sitting there talking, trying to explain, you know, that I'm gonna film and we have this channel, and they're kind of like whatever, because I'm sure that happens like 800 times a day.
Yeah,
and then while I would be, you know, like getting B-roll or something, someone would come up and start talking. Oh, I just saw one of your videos, and it just is funny to see how somebody changes all of a sudden. They're like, oh wait, I'm sorry, wait, who are you? It's like, you didn't care 5 minutes ago who I was.
Right. My last girlfriend was 6'1". I loved getting hugs. Your wife is 6'5". Is that real? I have an aunt that's 6 to 6'2". I'm not sure if it's 6 foot. Yeah.
Do I know that?
Eric's mom.
Oh yeah.
Jerad, what are your thoughts on how tall Shaq is?
He had like a 4'8" girlfriend at one point. Do you remember that?
Funny. What?
But for real,
I knew a guy. He was a bouncer, and then we wound up working at the nursing home together. He was 6'11", so he was 7 foot, and he wound up getting married to one of the Filipino ladies that worked with us. That was literally probably 4'8", 4'9". Like she was so short. So when you see them, and this dude's like 450 pounds too. So when you see them together, like, you know where your mind goes. Like, how is this working?
Yeah. I remember when I was growing up, I had a really tall, my female friends that I had were super tall. And I remember the comment always like coming about why like that tall girls really hate when short girls get with a tall guy, because it's like they have it harder trying to find someone taller than them, and then you see these really tiny girls with like people that are 6 foot and over, and they get mad apparently.
Elias name, I've been going to what the hell's that barbershop called, the Wolf Lounge in I think Grays Lake, Illinois, and it's been a really nice one. And what do I backhand her with when she's yapping too much? I just go stiff hand. He's a giant NFK. I don't know who this is. Yo, what's up, Jerad and Kara? How did Blade Show go? What's up, everyone? It went great. We're actually talking about it right now on getting to meet everybody and saying what's up. It was such a good time. And like I said, like I think it's amazing, like everybody that comes up to us and shakes our hand and takes pictures and stuff. We got to meet up with a bunch of people that is my first time getting to meet up with them. Even people like the one guy who's an actor from our area.
Oh yeah.
We got to meet up with him at Blade Show, and he's on the show Power. But he lives in Chicago. So he's So he went to Blade Show, so we met up with him there, and then we're gonna end up meeting up with him again in Chicago to have some dinner one night.
It does look like I cut my hair with a knife, though.
Definitely superstars at the show. Thank you, AF. I appreciate that.
That's him. That's Anthony, the person you're just talking about.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh no,
His
shit! There he
name's
is.
different on
Oh,
here.
I didn't realize it was different. I thought it was the same though. I don't know why I thought it was.
Instagram,
That makes
spelled
sense.
out.
That makes sense. I can see it now. Yeah, but sometimes, man, you read the name and it's just like it doesn't click at first.
No.
But
He's
so
standing backwards
with
in the
us
picture.
and that too, right? That's gonna get you every time.
Yeah.
I should do that with all my pictures.
Just turned around.
Turned around. But no, what winds up getting me a lot is like people will have one name on YouTube and another one on Instagram, and then talk to you as if you remember the conversation you had. And it's
that
like,
does happen a lot.
your name's not Scott on YouTube, so
his I can remember though because it's literally.
I know, I understand.
It's like his initials.
No, for sure, I get it now. Yeah. So let's talk about these knives you got.
Okay. All right. Okay. First, all right. This one I didn't buy. This one I was given, which is pretty nice. And we were at the Reich booth, and they were super cool. I didn't know that they like. I know they knew who we were, obviously, but
they've sent us stuff.
I know, but they were really like excited to have us there, and it was a nice.
Yeah,
feeling.
no, they were awesome.
They were really cool.
Everybody,
and
awesome.
They wound up. I'm sure you guys have seen these things on like shorts and stuff like that, but they wound up giving me. Well, not me, us. One of these things, but I insta claimed it, obviously, because it's tiny. Can you open it, sweetheart?
I will as soon as it gets focused.
The gears actually are functional on it, so when you open it, it like the gears actually kind of clink along each. Do you want me to do it?
No, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to remember which end is the.
I know just by the magnets.
Yeah.
I can see it.
But
So it's got like a magnet detent right here.
Not that you guys can see that. Yeah.
Well, they can see it right there. Those little things. But then watch the gear.
Yeah, they move.
And it's M390, I think, or is this one not M390?
This is a steel one.
Okay, so I know I'm talking about the blade steel. So I think this one's actually a budget steel, but there is an M390 one. Yeah, this one's the HCR and the body's just stainless steel. So these ones are really affordable.
Yeah,
but
Kelly
they have
one from Everyday City Carry.
Does she?
Wife. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I remember them showing it.
Well, these ones they have titanium ones with M390 steel, and it's just something cool. It looks kind of like a bug, kind of. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, next.
All right. Next, okay, this one right here. None of you are probably gonna know who this is.
Let me just answer this question real quick so I can take this off. Yes, I love Chavez knives. I filmed at their booth. I think I actually have okay content from their booth, but it was really short, and I'm gonna try to put together a few clips of stuff. It's been really difficult to edit the film we got because it's so crappy, a lot of it. So, but yeah, I love Chavez knives. I think they do an incredible job, and I don't have one in my collection, but I would love to get one, and one of these days I will.
Also, there was another question regarding like how Texas is compared to Atlanta. It's smaller by far. It's just one room.
Smaller.
But I honestly, personally, kind of liked the vibe a little bit.
I love the whole thing.
Like the vibe was, it was a different vibe. Like I felt like it was.
The
if you
hotel was
want
nice.
to interact more with the makers and get to know like that half of things, I feel like for us that Blade Show provided that. Whereas Atlanta, it's
so packed.
More of like the people. Like
it's so packed too, and there's so much to see. The thing is that with Texas, you at least can see everything.
Yeah.
Right. With Atlanta, you have to just know you are not going to see everything. There's no way you can see everything. It's just there's too much. There's too many rooms. Like there's multiple rooms, and some of them are really big. And then, yeah, it's so packed that there's times where like the next day you go, like the crowd won't be around a table, so you're like, I didn't even see them there.
Yeah, I know. That happened to Texas too. I didn't see a QSP because there's certain tables get a clump around them the whole time. But anyway, all right. So this is from a maker named Klaus Blades. I'm sure most of they seem like they're small, like a smaller maker. The sheath caught my eye at first because I could tell it was very much handmade. And show the clip on the sheath, Jared. Show how it's very like flimsy, but I mean this in a good way. Like pull on it.
I know, I'm trying to. It's plastic or
no,
leather.
It's leather.
Sorry, leather.
It's a leather.
Hardened leather.
Yeah. You could show, yeah, go ahead. So if you know me at all, you know that I'm actually really not a fan of clip points, but there's just something about this little guy that I really liked. First of all, I was looking for a USA made neck knife. That was like my goal, and this met that criteria. Yeah, it's not my favorite blade shape in the world, but the tip
It'll work good.
The tip isn't so swept that it's going to be an issue for me. I do need Jared to put an edge on it. It does need an edge.
Come on, I fucking hate how this thing
sorry,
loves
it's
faces.
my face.
Both of our faces. It just loves faces.
It does.
But yeah, no, you can't see it, but there's these like the G10 inlays going around right here, and then it's got this this stained wood. So it's got stained wood.
Can you try to show the
I
spine?
didn't show that.
Yeah. So just like a really nice, unique piece, and I like it because no one else is gonna have this. And the people who sold this, they're an older couple, okay, and they sent right before we got live right here. Went live on this show. Jared said, "Oh, you have a letter in the mail," and I was like, "Who is this?" You know, I had no idea who it was from, and it was a literally handwritten thank you letter from these people saying like, "Thank you for buying a knife from us.
It's not sharp, no.
And it was nice meeting you," and all this stuff. And it was really, really, really nice. Super nice people. Like awesome warranty, a sheet of I hate that word. Authentication. Yeah, they gave me one of those and all that. So, but they were incredibly nice people, and really cool that they did that handwritten letter.
So the next one she's going to show you guys, I'm actually kind of jealous about. This one's really, really nice.
He's jealous because I discovered gold.
I actually seen this guy. So just for a little background, I've been seeing this guy on Instagram, and I know he has, I'm not sure if it's his own sharpening stones, but I know he has some sharpening stones, and he teaches knife sharpening, but then he also does knives. So go ahead.
Okay, so here's the sheath. I'm purposely not showing the handle yet.
Oh, okay.
It's a secret. Anyway,
you want me to hold it up?
This sheath looks like you could totally make it into a boot sheath.
You probably could.
Yeah.
Boot sheath.
Little boot sheath. No, it's pretty big sheath though. Like it covers like I don't know, 60% of the way of the handle. But then here's the knife. Now I want you guys in the comments to tell me if I could get it focused. What knife maker does this handle remind you of? Okay. This is made by Corey Dunlap, but what other maker does this handle scream to you guys? I'm just curious. And also, man, I complimented him on his choil, and that's how I found out he was a sharpener. I was like, very nice choil. I always look at that now because Jared is a choil maniac.
Plugged in.
I'm pretty sure it's plugged in.
Well, no, those cord was pulled out.
Could you guys hear?
They can hear us.
Okay.
I
just want to know if anyone sees the resemblance. I will give you a hint. It is a company that makes slip joints that this scale screams to me. Like the second I saw it, I like asked the dude, like, do you guys like work together? Because it looks so much like this other company.
So what I love about this thing, one, obviously it's such a simple design, but the geometry.
Yes, Papa Town's got it.
Papa Towns.
Jack Wolf.
Jack Wolf.
This
buddy.
handle looks so much like Jack Wolf knives handles that I actually said something to do. I was like, I said, your knife handles look just like the same material as, I was like, do you know who that is? And he turns out he kind of laughed when I said it and told me that he actually went to college with Ben, who's Jack Wolf Knives, and they talk a lot and bounce ideas off each other, I guess. And so I was on the money with that thought. But
this is the blade as a hand set and finish. You can see it, and it is so well done. It's so consistent, so slicey, very thin behind the edge. You can't even see the edge bevel. It's so thin behind the edge, but then the handle is so damn comfortable, even though it's only a 3.5 finger knife. I'm talking about mega comfortable. You almost feel like it could be like a little self-defense knife because it's so compact in your hand, but this would be such a badass EDC knife.
I know a lot of people use carbon fiber with colors in this, but if you saw his knives laying out in the exact color choices that he was using, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
It literally... it looked like that he was the fixed blade spin-off of Jack Wolf Knives. And I mean that with all due respect. It's very good. The way the finish was, everything about it was just very similar. And that's because it is. They literally are connected in that way.
Hey.
Yes, it's Corey Dunlap's fixed blade. I don't know the model name, honestly.
Well, I'm sure they can find it on his
I
site.
bought it kind
Corey
of
Dunlap.
rashly, as I tend to at blade shows. I usually when I see something
Yes,
I like.
Super Cookie. Yeah, we were just talking about that. We were saying he's like 6'6". So 6'5", 6'6". So yeah, because people were saying like how tall he looks, and yes, he's very, very tall. If it's fat carbon, I've seen it on a couple of different models from Kaiser Jack Wolves. Yeah, but this particular kind
I'm not just saying fat
like
carbon.
the color, the everything
the
is the
pattern,
same one.
The
It's
strain,
literally
the thickness of the color versus the carbon fiber. It's the same one.
I bet you it even comes from the same company.
There's a lot of different fat carbons, like, and I know there's more than one pink fat carbon.
I would bet money that it comes from the same company.
It does, and it probably does. And what I'm saying too is that what I'm trying to explain is that they also use the exact same color line, the pink, the green, the orange, like the same sort of color set. And this is a good thing because Jack Wolf makes beautiful knives. It's a compliment.
So it seems logical. I don't mind that stuff. I think it looks okay. It looks a little gas stationy to me, and it looks a little cheap. The problem I have with it is some of the companies that wind up using it try to charge obscene prices when you can literally go online right now and look at sheets of it and see how much money it is. And when you see how affordable it is, it doesn't make sense to some of the prices. Like when Kaiser was doing them, I even said something like, this is entirely way too expensive. I would never recommend buying this, like, just because it's like they were pricing it as if it was like a titanium frame lock. Like this stuff is not as expensive as titanium,
just it looks cool that they can get,
which it does look cool, but to me some of it looks gas stationy. But to each their own.
James, oh, I'm sorry, Joel B gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, thank you, man.
Hit that bell.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Yes, 10 new members. We have 10.
Oh, who's the other one?
Am I missing
one? The Roaster.
The Roaster.
Toasty.
Thank you, Toaster. I appreciate it, brother. Anyone can pick up fat carbon or camel carbon in any color. Well, yeah, of course they can. Of course they can.
We're just saying they got it from the same maker because they know each other and they talk. That's all I'm saying.
And you can, like, when you you've seen the recent Jack Wolf knife has this exact stuff, like the same type, same pattern, same finish, same texture, same everything. And you can tell they probably got it from the same company. Some of the stuff comes from the same company. Of course, everybody can buy it. I mean, it's open to the public to buy, scale materials.
Yeah, I saw a lot of fat carbon knives at Blade Show, but the second I saw that one, it stuck out to me as looking identical. And when I said so, it was accurate.
It's kind of scary, Aaron, because it's like they've been known, and nothing against Max Ace. I love their knives. I think they do badass work. But their steels are soft. They just are. They're like, in some cases, really soft, like too soft.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a good idea for them to run ZDP, unless if they're going to do it at 66 HRC, 66, 67 HRC, which doesn't seem like they like to do.
I don't think they're going to do that.
But that's where ZDP 189 is good.
Is fat carbon a brand or a manufacturer?
It's no. Fat carbon fiber is a brand. No, it's a brand.
It's an actual brand, right?
Just like micarta technically is a brand.
This isn't actual fat carbon, the brand, is it?
It might be. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't buy scales, so no.
Because I saw 16 different
20 memberships
selling this stuff.
Baby,
so
come on,
okay.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Who is it?
I'm trying to find it. It's
Toasty with another 20?
10.
Another 10. Thank you, Toasty.
They're saying.
Thank you very much.
Corey does all of bench sharpening, so it makes sense. He probably got him a hookup on materials. Yeah, probably. He said that they went to college together, and he literally said they bounce ideas off each other.
Good buddies. Been picking up some really nice $35 to $50 knives, CGRB. Agave, all aluminum, $35.
Really nice. The agave?
Yeah, we seen it at the show.
Agave a sweet plant? That is a
I thought
weird
it was a
name.
Drink or something.
No, agave is a sweetener.
Anyways, yeah, dude, there's some really good knives. I would say the 45 to 65, $70 price range. You can get some amazing knives. I could name a bunch right now. For an example, for $46, $48, the Moyarl. This is, come This is the Migaron Moyaral titanium milled pocket clip for $47 or something like that, and 14C 28N. Good geometry, amazing action. Love the hole deployment, good access to the lock bar. And then look at this. I wonder if I have another knife I can compare to. Look at how thick the liners are. This is super thick liners. Like, they're really thick. I compared it to like a Sativian. A Sativian, their liners are like half as thick as this stuff. So, but I do have one issue with this one. I'm gonna have the company just replace it, but it has some detent, like serious detent lash. It didn't have it at first, but it just crept up on me. Peter Flanagan with the 5 crackers. Did you and Leon Ma lock eyes at the show? He actually came up to me at the show, so I seen him a couple times. Not that I was trying to avoid him or anything, but I seen him try to like wave me over, and I just whatever. But he did walk up to me, apologized, and he said what he wanted to say. I said it was no problem. Like, I just don't have much to say to him. Like I said, I want nothing bad to happen to him. I wish nothing, at all, like in a bad way to him. I'm not personally gonna deal with him. And it's not about what happened to me. It's not even about that. Like, that's the thing people don't understand. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not taking it personal at all. I think that after this experience, it really showed me that every other experience before me was all true. Right. And that's what it just showed me. It kind of showed me, like, every time somebody came to me and said something that he did to them, it all came true to me. And then all the stories and the this and the that and the problems. Like, I had somebody even come to me saying that they returned a knife for warranty work, and then he took it and wouldn't give it back and wouldn't give him the money, but then eventually did when they started threatening him, like that he was going to like send the messages to me. So for me to put on the channel, which I wouldn't have done, but it's just the point though. Like then he wound up doing it. So like, and I don't have no, like I said, I have nothing against him right now. I do have something against him. I don't have nothing against him personally. I have something against
who you want to work with in business.
I have something against him in the sense that I don't think that he's going to be a great person to do business with if you have issues or anything like that. And, I just think he showed his true colors and how he acts and responds to criticism. And I can't have that, right? Like, not that I wouldn't. What, baby?
I have all these member comments.
Okay. Let me just finish what I'm saying. But yes, he did walk up, and I accepted his apology. I've already accepted his apology. He technically mailed us some stuff too, and I mailed it back. And he sent us a really nice note, and it was really cool, apologizing. And I accept his apology. That's the thing. I accept his apology. It's like I said, I'm not even mad at him or anything like that. Like, trust me, guys, I've dealt with so much crazier. Like this is just so petty to me. I don't even care. I just don't think, as far as the community goes and like representing a good company and being a good guy to buy knives from, you like to know that the person you are supporting and where your money's going is going to a good person in the community and somebody who means well and does well, right?
Here, because these people were good effing people.
And that's how a lot of the custom makers are. That's why people invest in custom knives in many cases. They're not just buying the knife, they're buying the person, right?
I 100% did. Like I said, I don't like clip point knives, but here I am with a clip point knife.
And as much as I love Leon Ma's designs, I am not going to lie. I love him. I absolutely love his designs, and I always have. And I've admitted that. So it's tough for me not to ever want to have one again. And like I said, he even tried to send me one that I've always wanted, and I sent it back. I didn't even unwrap it. It was in sealed package, and I didn't even open it because it's not right. And for me to do it now, it just, it's bad. It's, bad mojo now. Like it's bad blood. Like
bad mojo.
If I show something on the channel now, it's like, it kind of paints a picture. Like, am I telling the truth now? Am I just dogging them out to dog them out? Like, I don't want to do that. Right. If I say something negative, everybody's going to say that I'm dragging them. And if I say something kind, it doesn't matter. Anyways, go ahead. Where are they?
Kobe, you can use NAF sale KNAFSALE.com.
For selling knives.
He literally said, "Can anyone suggest a site to buy and sell knives besides Reddit and Knife Swap?" That's
Yes,
literally exactly what they do. Yeah,
nafsale.com.
you like describe their exact site.
7.5% is what you're going to have to pay them to
sell.
do it, but there's no risk on you or the buyer.
You don't pay till you sell the knife.
Right,
so
and
they
free. Take complete fault if anything happens. So they're really good.
Let me get to these member comments.
Let me get to them.
So Renee, member for 1 month. Was there a knife that you wish you had bought at Blade Show Texas that you didn't?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, but you got the ones you went for.
Yeah, I wish I would have got a Hawk.
Oh,
of course. At fucking $1,800. I couldn't afford it, but I would have loved to have gotten one.
I got a sweatshirt from them though.
What else? I got a t-shirt from them.
If you ever go to Blade Show, buy a freaking zip-up sweatshirt from Hawk Knives. They're better. They're expensive. The sweatshirt equals the quality that their knives are.
They're USA made. They're USA made.
That sweatshirt is equal to how their knives are. It's just high quality. The sweatshirt has no lock rock, no blade play. It's a good sweatshirt. There's
a custom at the end of the video I just posted too. It has a recurved Tonto, crazy thin hollow ground blade. It almost looks like a Rosenti. That is one that I loved. And then there was some of those big choppers that when you get them in your hand, dude, it's like,
I know, Jerad was
I'm fighting.
The makers were looking a little weird because he's like, man, I just want to chop something when I hold these things. And I was like, yeah, try it on the table as I'm filming, and the people are
it makes
Let me just read this really quick. So Knife Nut 69, member for 11 months. He says 1 more month to go until he's a member for a year.
Hell yeah. Thank you for the support, man. That's so awesome, man. Thank you for showing so much love. BNA, did you hold BNA? That's not to us. But no, the choppers though, when you get them in hand, man, you want to start chopping things down so bad that it's almost hazardous, like for somebody like me to have it in their hand. Titanium Maverick sold on Arizona Custom Knives. I almost freaking got it. Dude, they're going to be out in like 5 days. So those are probably going to be overpriced on there.
Everything is overpriced.
I'm going to drop my full review the same day that they drop, right? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get one, but I imagine if you're getting it from Arizona or eBay or anything like that, it's going to be overpriced. Did you see E-Knives had the new MSI for $395 today and the manual stitch for $495? See, that's overpriced to me because I paid $325 for both of them. I paid $325 for this and I paid $325 for this, or something like that. So I think that's what it was.
Listen to this comment from Michael Morgan. This is so funny.
But that's cool that they had them though. Yeah.
He said, I'm outfitting my boat for sport fishing. Ship just got reels.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do you get it?
Yes.
I don't think you get it.
Ship just got reels. Yes, I do. Very cool. Michael Morgan. I've got a few Kaisers tie stuff and it's great quality for the money. Yeah. No, they do a good job. All companies can have mistakes, like I've seen a lot of people commenting about tactile, it's like, remember they haven't been doing knives for a long time. So I'm sure they had an area where they had some mistakes. And then even now they're still, susceptible to mistakes. It's on you to contact them and make them replace it or tell them and them to fix it. And that's the thing is, like I've always said, it's not issues are going to happen no matter what, even if you did it, right? If it was your business, you would make mistakes too, but it's not about the mistakes. It's about what the company does about it. Are they going to deal with it 100%? And if that's the case, then I applaud it, right? Doesn't matter that there was a mistake. It's about what they did with it.
Baby.
Yes, baby.
There was a Razel recently on Arizona for $575 that sold.
Oh, baby.
Why didn't you see that?
Michael Duke, thoughts on the new ProTech PT Plus? I seen the ProTech PT. I didn't know it was a plus at the show. I almost bought one. Is it just like a little bit bigger, I'm guessing? I didn't wind up buying it, obviously, but no, I used to have a PT and we gave it away to one of the patrons. Very good night. I think it was one of the patrons. Somebody won it.
The PT Strider.
Yeah, that's what the PTs are.
Oh, are they all like that? I have always wondered what PT stands for. Does it stand for something?
I have no idea.
Because every time I hear that,
Pro-Tech, probably.
That would be weird.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It always reminds me of there's a really popular game that was unfinished, a horror game called PT that's like very influential in the horror space.
Just want to clarify, there was nothing wrong with the rock wall. It's just not for me. Oh, okay. That happens.
I actually agree. I really like the rock wall. I like the rock wall.
He doesn't though.
I understand, but I can't really get over the way that the lock bar is for me personally. I want there to
see. I don't mind it, and I'm a lock bar crazy nut.
I know you are. For me, it's the size is just a tad too long for my pockets. I like the thinness, I like the shape, and I love the milling. But the lock bar and that little extra length on it that makes it just too big for my pockets is why I don't carry it more than I do.
Michael Duke, thank you for the 5 bones, and I do appreciate that. So check this out, guys. This reminds me. I plan on doing some really, really good content moving forward, like 1 to 2 videos a week that I put a lot of effort into. Obviously, I'm still going to have some, some rapid videos for like first impressions and things like that and stuff like to kind of just like fill in the gaps. But there might even be days where I take off because I'm literally going to be editing and I'm trying to make certain videos of just really, really high level in quality, information, just everything. Like literally go out of my way to get specific information to put in the videos, specific close-ups, just like really, really good visuals and really good information that hopefully you guys appreciate because it's going to take a lot of work, and I'm hoping that it pays off in the long run. The tactile video was somewhat of a practice run of that, even though we've been doing videos like that for a while. We didn't put half of what I want to put into some of the videos moving forward, but as we move forward, it's just going to get better and better and faster because I'll be able to do it because I'll be used to editing in that style.
Videos like that he's talking about, like that are like 100% more my lane of passion. I find videos and doing things like that where it's a real production much more interesting and I don't know, fun to do, I guess. I don't know. I used to be into filming and editing long before I ever met Jerad, but there's only so much you can do with a tabletop knife video, you know what I mean? Is in terms of that. So I love the idea of doing more in-depth kind of things like
also that. While so many people are in here, next Saturday we're going to do a 250K giveaway live Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Great channel, bro. Let's get an angle where you are on the barbecue by the pool with Haley and the family. Don't know it, so I can't speak on it.
What
I do
does
not
that
know
even
it.
mean?
I'm guessing it's a show. BSTX was awesome. Blade Show Texas was awesome. I walked away with a CRK. Nice, large and cozy, and my wife bought me a Chavez exclusive Redencion 299. Nice. It's my first chisel style blade. It's a chunky boy. Very, very cool. Yeah, man, they do an incredible job. They do a really, really good job. I actually, guys, I got a custom in right now. I want to show you guys so bad. I feel bad. I'm going to show you guys.
Why?
Because I'm not going to have it on the channel probably for a while. I'm probably just going to have to not.
What?
So the thing is I got it because this is going to Brian. What?
Just can you wait a second?
Yeah, you want me to wait?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, I got something cool to show you guys, but she don't want me to show you, so you guys fucked. We'll show it in a second. Jerad, I didn't think that your videos could get better. I look forward to anything you post. I have never seen any quality issues. So my plan is to give information like in depth, like obviously not so much to where it gets boring, but to where like at certain times, certain points, maybe put fun facts up on the screen. Maybe if like a certain word is said, like go into it in greater detail with nice visuals, so that people understand it really good. And then also use stock footage. Stock footage is footage that like I have a thing that I pay for to get stock footage, and it's just like random video clips. So like say like in the Texas video when I said Texas, and then it showed the city of Dallas right? Like stuff like that, right? It just makes the visuals a lot better. So when you're watching, it's easier for you to watch for 10 minutes because your mind is constantly working, you're thinking, you're seeing nice visuals, and you never get bored.
Here go. I'm gonna read this super chat so it doesn't get missed. Ding ding ding. Jason Lee DCU with the 9.99 bones. Thanks for your giveaway and my prize of the regrind service from PNW. I sent him one of my. Okay,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click it.
My Demco 20.5's clip point for a hollow grind. Haven't got it back yet, but I can't wait. Regrinds are an exciting thing.
Yes. Thank you, Jason Lee. I appreciate the donation. Yeah, I like getting regrinds anytime you can when you have a knife that is thick, like overly thick. But even if it's not overly thick, if it just has a good platform for a hollow grind or a regrind, even if it's a flat grind, I love it because I love great cutting geometry. And not only does your cutting performance go up, but also your edge retention, all that stuff goes up. So you really get the most out of that steel. And that's why I kind of got down on like Hinder, right? With their steel being 59 to 60 on or was it 60 to 61? There's either 59 to 60 or 60 to 61 for their magnet cut. But the point is that when you're already running super thick geometry, like you can't use toughness as an excuse. And then that toughness also, because it's so thick, the edge retention is not going to be that great already. So like, you know, it's like you're losing in every way when it's like that. So having great edge or great geometry is a win-win. Neeves Knives finally got an elemental button lock, and I freaking love it. The way the lock works, you were right. Yeah, dude. So many people, and even I did, so I can't say so many people. Even I talked shit the first time, but over time, man, I have grown to absolutely love the regular button lock Elementum. I think it's not only like the shape of it is like one of the most useful shapes, the geometry, the ergos, the action, just everything, man. The lockup, it's really good. Joe Lynch became a member. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. We do Bang Gang lives. We do Bang Gang live sharpenings every other Sunday, and we are planning on posting short form content for you guys. We just haven't yet. We're playing catch up right now from the show, but every other Sunday we do have a Bang Gang live sharpening where we do live sharpening with you live. And if you're a Rockstead, you can actually get a one-on-one with me, just me and you. Brad Lennox 1999, thank you for the 20 bones. Just saved with your code at White Mountain Knives. Might as well split the savings with you. Well, I don't get nothing. I don't get nothing from that. No, that's for you.
Like he's splitting the savings.
Oh, because you get. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Holy shit, you saved 40 bucks.
I was gonna say you must have bought an expensive ass knife.
Fuck yeah, you did. Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and we don't make anything from that, so that's awesome, and I do appreciate that.
What's the word?
Because I leave it there just for you guys, you know. I feel bad taking it out. I have thought about taking it out, but then I'm like, man, that's kind of a dickhead move to take it out when it saves people money. But a bunch of people have the LTK's got one. I think Lefty's got one. Like a bunch of people have one, so I think everybody is able to use it. But we don't make anything from it though. Yeah, done videos.
Oh, okay. Somebody said something. I was sitting here flipping it, and I had a panic attack. Thought I was gonna get yelled at.
I appreciate the work you put into the tactile tour. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Joe. And like I said, man, I am going to be putting up a lot more, not content meaning like at knife companies, but content that is really high quality. Hopefully, not just like that or similar to that, but like in a way that kind of resembles.
The word on this is that. Sorry, I just
go ahead.
Somebody asked what the word on this is. It's they're working right now on.
This is a prototype.
Guys. This is a prototype, so they're working right now on getting like some of the safety stuff figured out with it. So like right now on the prototype.
I've already
and Jerad showed this.
You got it in my video.
He showed this, but like right now, if you go to close it,
which I don't have an issue with the closing thing.
It could come through like this if you don't know what you're doing. So they made it to where it stays connected to this better. So when it closes, it does that.
But the problem is not that. The problem is the button. You hit it when you go to use it.
Yeah, they're working on that too. The button sits a little tall. So if you have a fat, meaty hand, like Jerad, you know, like basically just a man hand.
The button's right there, and see how it sticks out so proud. So when you squeeze it and you go to swipe with it, you push the button and it opens. Like even like right now, if I'm like this and I go to use it, I'm gonna claw it and it's gonna open. See that how it's opening? Now it's not gonna hurt me. It'll just bounce right back because I actually did cut stuff with it and it just snaps. But the point is though, is it fails. But so and they're gonna fix it. They've already talked about it. They've already fixed it. That's why they send us prototypes, but they didn't send this to us. We bought this. We actually bought these.
That is kind of a problem because when I just went to close it right now.
Yeah,
let me just explain. When I went to close it, normally I keep my thumb here so that it all goes shut, but I kind of missed it. And if you miss that and you're using any gravity, it can come through like that to your hand. So that was another thing that they fixed.
To me, you gotta when you're closing it, just be smart. So what I do is I showed it in the video. When I go back, I just catch this with my thumb. The blade drops. Now I can just slap it shut. So, and you can manipulate this part with your hand. So to me, I don't mind the close, but sometimes people might.
Slips, though.
To me, I haven't been poked yet by it, but I can see
barely been poked.
I can see why people will get poked, but that's just going to make you close it slower. No, I think the closing part isn't a big deal. It's how fast can you get it open, and is it locked up rock solid?
You can do like incredibly fast. Just wow.
I broke the CRKT razor and now it's in the trash. Then I over tightened the pivot on my laner, so now that's figged up. But was able to save my scales though, so now down 2 knives. Well, that sucks, but you know what? It's part of the game. We have a CRKT razor too that we still own, and technically it showed up brand new, a little rough around the edges, and I was using it for construction for a while, so ours is. It's still fine, but you know, you can tell I beat the hell out of it. But yeah, you don't want to over tighten any screws.
I'll tell you guys that are talking about you have to practice with this thing. It literally is very easy. Like it looks like a lot going on, but like I learned, especially because when they sell these, it's gonna come with a trainer. That's part of what you're buying. And I'm telling you, like I learned this thing in 5 minutes. Like it's not even like it's really easy to do, and it looks more intimidating than it actually is to mess with, especially if you're learning with a trainer, because you don't have a fear of getting, you know, poked or anything. So
Nick, I love White Mountain knives too, but I tend to buy through companies that offer me affiliates, like GP Knives, Blade HQ, Blade Ops, Knife Ship Free, like places that literally are supporting the channel. So like the reason why I don't usually, like, if there's something in White Mountain Knives, I'll tell you guys, but I won't sit there and make posts about it or anything like that, because it just doesn't benefit the channel at all. And there's so many companies that offer us links so that if you guys use them, we get a kickback, which benefits the channel. So those are the ones I'm going to support the most too, you know. Dukes of Hazzard with the 5 bones just got out of John Wick 4. Not bad. Now I'm gonna head home and watch you guys. Well, thank you, Dukes of Hazzard. I'm jealous. I wish I would. Is he?
I told him to tell us.
That's awesome, man. I want to see it really bad. I'm gonna wait till it comes out of theater, unless if we end up going to the theater. I guess we could. We have a theater not far from us. But what's up?
Okay, so SC Rick asked a question.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, this question in the last like 3 months, I swear to you, I've answered like at least 30 times on Instagram, and it's a good question, but it's coming up a lot. So why don't you answer it here?
Okay.
Tactile or quiet carry? Now I'm just gonna assume you mean Waypoint versus Rockwall, because that seems to be the comparison, but I've had a couple people say no, that's not what I was comparing. So
if it depends on what you're comparing. Like if you're comparing,
let's just say Waypoint.
Let's just say Waypoint or the 9. The 9 is their new model.
Well, Waypoint and Rockwall are so similar. A lot of people compare them, but whatever. Do what you want. Compare.
Well, I was thinking we were doing Maverick versus 9.
You could do that too.
It's tough. It's not tough, actually. I'd pick the 9. The 9. It's so, and the reason when I do my full review, you guys will hear the reason why I think the Maverick is. I'm actually carrying it right now because I'm testing it. I love the steel. I think they did a really good job on it, but I do have a couple small things that might not even bother you. So like, don't think that they're that bad. But that the 9, I would boost it up because it does that well, right? There's something that this doesn't that does. And but when it comes to the waypoint and the rock wall, so I would say if you love action, the rock wall, hands down, the rock wall's action is far superior to the waypoint. The waypoint is on washers, so you can't expect it to be as smooth as the rock wall. The rock wall is just snappier, drop shutty, all the good stuff, and the waypoint's not. But as far as the knife goes, like as a tool, the waypoint, I'd probably put it on the waypoint. However, the hardware and everything is a little bit better, I think, from Tactile, because the quiet carries hardware on the quiet carry waypoint is very shallow, like so shallow. I actually, when I first got it, man, I had a lot of issues with my hardware from them. But regardless, I love my waypoint, and I would say that as far as use goes, if you're caring about, oh, also the rock wall moving forward, they're trying to change their HRC to move it up with their magnet cut on the rock wall, and in that case, that would mean that would be a superior cutter and everything. But yeah, you guys hear me. What does that say? White Mountain Knives, no tax, free shipping plus discounts. Got to figure that into your buying. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't blame anybody, dude. Save your fucking bucks, man. Do what you got to do to save money. That's why I try to get you guys discount codes and things like that. I just, like I said, I have companies that help support us, and you guys using those codes, or sorry, those links, support us. And
some people might think it sounds savage, but in the realities of business, if you give a company free business, why should they ever support you back?
Right. Yeah. And that's why I don't link things.
They're the only ones that we do that with, just because
the only one.
You guys.
Yep,
but
that's the only one.
And
I won't do it with any of them.
Yeah, but I think now they might. I don't know. One of them I was trying to work on getting an affiliate.
Don't get me wrong. If somebody sends me a prototype, I won't have an affiliate, but they'll send it to me, so I'll link there, because that's different. That's a person, a designer.
We're talking about big companies.
I'm talking about companies, right? Like Quiet Carry, Real Steel, fucking whatever, right? I'm gonna link where I can link an affiliate. If I can't, then you're not gonna get a link. But you guys can just search for it.
We do things without affiliate links all the time, but it's the point of, if it's a big company that can do it,
right? They
won't, but can. Then
it's kind of like Knife Center. I reached out to Knife Center. They told me no, right? So it makes it to where, like, why would I recommend Knife Center when they refuse to give us an affiliate? Not that they have to or anything like that, but also we don't have to recommend them. I buy from Knife Center though when I have to, but if I don't have to and I can buy from somebody else, I do.
I literally have so many.
No, the Quiet Carry is made in Taiwan. Alan.
I have enough points in with Knife Center to get like a couple $100 knives for free because of their program.
Yep.
And you know why that is? That's where I got your Rockstead from. So if you pour Rockstead money into a website and they have a rewards program, you end up getting like a literally free $200 knife out of it. It was actually a good deal.
Kilo cap?
2 kilo cap.
What does that mean?
Don't send us drugs, please. I don't know what that means.
Huh. Did those drop today?
Are you Rocky?
I know a Rocky. I know a few Rockies.
I know.
There
was that weird thing with that one.
I have a few Rockies. When it comes to Damascus and production knives like Civivi and the like, a lot of times I'll opt for the Damascus. If the other choice is D2, might as well get stainless with a good looks, in my opinion. So somebody asked me a minute ago, and I didn't answer it because
you got sidetracked.
Yeah, I got sidetracked. But they asked me about Damascus. What's my thought on Damascus? Here's my thought on Damascus. So there are some custom makers that do decent work with Damascus, right? But those are more showpieces more than like good pocket knives, right? Now, as far as good pocket knives go, most of the time I would not opt for Damascus unless if it's powdered steel Damascus. So RWL 34 Damas steel is a powdered steel Damascus, and then a lot of the companies right now like Civivi and a few others are using the 9CR powdered steel Damascus. It's 9CR and 440C mixed together, and it's done in a powdered form so that it's basically one brick of steel rather than multiple bricks of steel melted together. Do you guys know what I mean? Because it's in powdered form, melted together into one brick. So when it's etched, you see the different layers, but they're not separated. So when you sharpen it, the steels go so well together that you don't have little spots that are bad. So like when I've sharpened some Damascuses, you'll have spots where you'll feel steels are soft, some parts are hard. And it's just because there's different layers, and it'll make it where the edge is a little funky. Sometimes you'll get micro chipping in some of the areas because it's lesser steels. So I don't like no-name Damascuses. I don't like regular, like just off-the-wall Damascus. I like powdered steel Damascus for EDC. Otherwise, you know, I say why use it unless if it's for like a show piece, and you know, then it's like Chad Nichols Damascus or something, because in that case, you know, it's different.
Two things real quick. First of all, custom EDC knives member for 13 months. So
yo, thank you, man.
God, I can't speak. Hey everyone, how's it going? And then
that's the one I always mess up too.
I know. And then also that dude that was saying the kilos thing, he was saying it because that's
2 kilos.
That's their measurement in the rest of the world, pretty much. You know, they
for what?
Like they don't do pounds, they do kilos.
Oh, for money?
For anything.
But we're talking about money right now?
No, I don't know what you're talking about sending, but what I will say is that if you're a maker of some sort, just message us on Instagram. If it's anything else, Jared's books are closed, so no sharpening or anything like that.
But if it's dope, no. Luck Knives. Sand My Damascus is my preferred material because it still has the look, but also has the performance steel in the core. Right. So that would be Daniel Cad. Thank you, man. I appreciate the 5 memberships. Again, he's probably gifted the most memberships of anybody, and we do appreciate also. James K has been up there too. Yeah, he's done a lot.
There's been a few. I always hate naming names because then I start forgetting people.
But anyways, yeah, Luck Knives is starting to make knives now. So if you guys want to check out some good custom work and stay up to date with somebody going through the journey of becoming a custom knife maker, check him out. But yeah, I like Sand My too. I was more, because when I think of Sand My, I think of 3-layer, 2 to 3 layers, right? And it's got a core, so it's basically one steel with like a jacket. So that's a little bit different. When I was thinking of just full-blown Damascus. But yeah, obviously Sand My is really good because you can get that core, you know, which basically, if anybody doesn't understand, it's one core steel. So when you sharpen it, when you're with your edge retention, with everything, you're getting that core steel, but then the top of it and the outside layer of it, you can put a tougher steel. So in some cases, they might have a tough spine while having a nice hard edge, or, you know, or it'll just be jacketed with like a nice stainless, and then the edge will be a carbon steel. So there's different ways they can do that, but it's mostly the good steel that, so you can get all the good qualities out of the edge. Yeah. Daniel came out with another 20 memberships.
Literally,
thank
the
you,
mods were like, "Should we ban him?" I was like, "No, he's being a good."
Yeah,
right?
No.
Don't actually
ban him.
But we
need the support, damn it. We need this.
I said that though, he instantly did 20.
1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. I understand the weight, but I just don't understand the comment.
He's saying like he's capping himself off for whatever he's sending in the mail. That's why I was saying I don't know what you're sending in the mail, but
that would it weighs that much. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was saying like Sean, just because it's expensive, probably.
Sean Knapp became a member. Shout out to you, and shout out to all the new members that Daniel just
wait.
Daniel just donated.
Do you flint nap knives? Because if you're like Daniel Cad, where his last name is Cad and he does CAD work, and you're napping, you flint nap things, I'm gonna be really impressed.
Yeah, you better. You better.
Alice is asking me something. Alice, Kara, did y'all? Yes, we just got it today.
Yes, yeah, I just opened it right before we went live.
We'll use it for the giveaway next week.
When you put him in timeout, he spends more. Put him in timeout. Hurry up. Caps Lock. Hey Dino, thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Dude, Daniel has given so many memberships that somebody has gotten a second one from him. They're just gonna have a year-long float of a membership.
That's funny.
Daniel,
hey man, we appreciate it because
CAD master.
Because we've taken a pretty heavy hit, and I'll be honest,
Daniel has literally saved us.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel's donations, the past
everybody's.
Don't not just Daniel's, everybody's donations the past few weeks have massively saved us on our channel, because we've taken a massive hit, not just from the trip, which is huge, but also in ad revenue because we're getting fucked 30% right now because of the economy and everything with ad revenue. So it just is what it is, just part of the game. So we're going to try to make up with it in different areas, and that's why links are so important and the affiliates and all that stuff. But not to the point to where we are going to hurt any quality or information or bullshit or lie or anything like that. It'll never come down to that. Like the money is never worth the integrity, but we do appreciate all the support because, like I said, it has massively saved us. So thank you. And also he actually is said that he's going to be doing a giveaway on here, so maybe we'll just add that to the 250K giveaway next Saturday. What do you think, Dan? Because I announced it multiple times now that we're going to be doing the 250K live giveaway next Saturday. 195 people in here. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I do have a couple things coming that are in the works. So
maybe your wish will come true.
You might come true. Might come true.
You know, your girl got those iPad designing sketch skills. Maybe we'll put them to use. Who knows?
Good for you, Brian. See, now you got one here and one over there. Dan's a good dude. He got one over at Bees Believes or Bees Believes.
You best believe. Oh, that's a rapper.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Bees Believes. 250K giveaway. What time? 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
Well, the giveaway won't be immediately. It's
but the live will start at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and then we'll probably pull them at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Let's do it. Thank you for the 10 bones.
Let's do it.
What time is it? 8:36.
My eyeball hurts.
The stores that don't support you makes me upset at those stores. Yeah, I know. Same here, but there's nothing we can do about it. So we try to reach out. So I've had some that like I've been reaching out to since like I had like 3,000 followers, right? And a lot of them will just ignore you until you like hit a certain point, and then once your channel gets to a certain level, then they're willing to work with you. So I keep trying to reach back to them, you know, like every 100,000 followers or something. But some of them, like you can just tell, like they're never gonna fuck with you. And it just is what it is. We can't force them to, and it's cool. I understand they have to make money, and you know,
some businesses haven't quite figured out the benefits to affiliate marketing.
Yeah,
if you're a business,
it's so beneficial,
especially a large one, where your overhead is larger. Doing affiliate marketing, what they see is, oh my God, we'd have to pay out this much money per knife, right? That's all they see and hear. When in reality, what's happening is that, let's say you pay out, 5% a knife, which is a really common number you see. All right. And you sell 50 knives. But if you didn't pay the 5% per knife, you only sell 20 knives. You're making more. And that's usually how affiliate marketing goes if you choose your affiliate people properly. So, but even if you just have links available, throwing out to any random person, even if the channel has 2,000 subs, if they bring you 3 sales that you weren't originally going to have already. And I think that's the fear they have, is that, oh, well, we don't want to just pay you 5% a knife because we would have gotten these sales anyway. But that's not always true. That's why the people that just allow anyone to get an affiliate link tend to rack in all these sales, because it's not always about that somebody was going to buy the knife anyway. It's that maybe they were thinking about it, but because they watched this video, they decided to pull the trigger when otherwise they may have forgotten about it. There's a lot of things that it brings a company that sometimes companies don't understand if they haven't fleshed out what it can do for them.
So just for an example, we've gotten over 20,000 clicks or 20,000, I think, purchases from Blade HQ this month. So just an example, like, of how much.
No, that's clicks.
I know I said clicks.
Go to, you can go to.
I know, I'm trying to find it.
Sale.
So gross sales, $47,000. We've made them. That's how much they've made off of this channel this month. So $48,000 is what Blade HQ has made from us having an affiliate link just in 30 days. But that's in 30 fucking days. It's not like that's the whole time.
Yeah.
And we've had months where it was way more than that, and some months are way less. So, just averages out. But the point is, though, is that it's good to have affiliate, give affiliates.
So they probably would have maybe made half of that on their own. But the point is that you know, a lot of those clicks some people may have specifically said, I'm going to use Neeves Knives link to support them, in which case that hurts the company, right? Because they could have just got the sale anyway. But a lot of times that's not the case. It's somebody pulling the trigger because they're hearing it come out of Jared's mouth and it's reminding them and like, you know what, I'll just do it. The link's here now. You know, so
get the 50/40 micron, William S. Thank you for the 5 bones. I appreciate it. Yeah, get the 50/40 micron. And so what you could do, so you could go one of two ways. So if you already have a 140, so you can go with the lower grit. So it would be like the 100/80 micron, and then the other side of the stone will be 50/40 micron. Or you can look for it because they might have it. I'm not sure if they do. I have other stones in this configuration. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not sure if the dragons come like this, but you can get the 50/40 and then the 20/14 micron on the other side. That'll give you a 600 grit finish on the 50/40 and basically like a 2000 grit finish on the 20/14 micron. So it's a mirror polish. Or like I said, you go with the toothier side, which is probably my most recommended, the 140, then the 100/80, because remember, a 140 grit Atoma is going to be far more aggressive than a 100/80 grit or 100/80 micron Veneve stone. So that will help fill in the gap before the 50/40 micron. However, you could just fill in a 300 grit diamond plate with that and then get the Veneve with the, like I said, the 50/40 and the 20/14.
Yeah, I've bought a lot of knives from.
But you want the 50/40.
I think you might have missed a super chat.
Did I?
It's Daniel.
Oh, Daniel with the 5 bones again. Higher sales versus higher revenue. More people are willing to buy with discount. That's true.
The companies that are willing to do an affiliate link plus a discount.
That's rare.
That's
that they
real.
Do.
No, there
they
are.
Do. I know. I'm not saying
you know,
they don't.
It's interesting because it's not usually
Max
the big
Ace.
companies like Blade HQ. It's usually the individual companies like Max Ace or like something like that where they're willing to give a discount code and an affiliate. And that's even scarier for companies because the first thing they're thinking is, oh my God, I have to pay them for each knife and I'm giving away a discount. But honestly, it just does what I said to a higher like it does it even more, right? Because now not only are you getting more people to buy because of the review and seeing the link, but you're getting even more because of a discount that's basically just taking tax off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people will buy things just because of that when they might not have otherwise.
Personally bought several knives from watching reviews. Important when you are spending over $200. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, even when you're spending $75, it's good to watch a review because you'd be surprised. Sometimes that $75 knife, like I've had many where I'll show it on the channel, and if I was watching my review, I would 100% not buy it because I would say something like the lock bar access is horrible, and to me that's a pet peeve. I cannot stand it when it's very irritating and difficult. Like there was a knife at Blade Show. I actually cut it because I didn't talk like a bunch of shit, but I walked up to the booth and I grabbed and I said, "Oh, this lock bar is a fucking shit." But I said it in the video, so I had to cut it. I cut it out. So it's not on the video.
The knife completely.
The knife is in the video, but you see me using my other hand to unlock it because I could.
This is just a video where you're just showing it, right?
Yeah,
just like showing how weird it
from
looked.
Blade Show.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's part of the craziest knife videos. But I did unlock it one time with my thumb, but every other time I did it with this hand. You guys can figure it out if you go watch the video. But the point is though, is that, man, it just drives me nuts. I can't stand that. So like to me, if I was watching my video and then I heard that, I don't care if the knife was $40 and I heard that, fuck that. Because I have too many of them that I won't even carry for that reason, or I have to modify it. Now, if I don't mind spending the time to modify it, like a lot of knives, because there are some knives that I will spend $300 for and I will still mod them because I love them that much that it's like I'll spend the hour it takes to modify it to make it, better for me, which I don't mind doing sometimes. Very true. If you see positive things about a knife you've been sitting on the fence about, it helps put some doubts in your mind at ease, enough to spend the bucks for sure. Personally bought several knives by watching her. Oh, I read that one. I wasn't sure because prices was all over the place, but it was the only one available and just reacted. My wife's gonna be mad. That happens. Rich EDC says, "What's up with the hype around the Wii Ziphus? Worth $340 or hype train like that Freeze Olight knife?" So I would say the Freeze, that's more of a
Is
hype
there
train.
a hype train around
So
the freeze?
I don't know if there is, but yeah, I mean it's a decent
a
knife.
good
It's a
knife.
good knife. The
Their
freeze
knives are actually really
freeze
smooth.
too. Yeah, no, that's a good knife. A really solid knife.
I think
but
that they're actually a little bit underrated.
I didn't know there was a fucking hype train around.
I
it.
didn't know
I just hate the logo. But the Ziffus, stay tuned. I think we have one here, and I'm gonna be doing a video on it the day they drop, which is the 29th. So on the 29th, you guys will see a video on it. And I think we have that one. But it might be better than you think. If it's the one I'm thinking of. I got to try it at Blade Show. We did this whole video with Seth at Blade Show. The video could have been so good, but you know, the audio shit the bad. The audio is so bad. So we're gonna have to redo it in Atlanta. But we got to check out a bunch of knives that we hadn't seen yet. And it pisses me off that we don't have that content. Shepherd 214 with the 5 bones. You said Max Ace is soft. I have the Sandstorm K D2 steel. How soft we talking? I carry that one as a persuasion tool. Love the design. Of course, if it's a persuasion tool, I don't think you're worried about it. But you can go on their site and they tell you. So their M390 is 59 to 60. I see it.
That's Master Chief.
Master Chief. 59 to 60 is what they do their M390. So that is very soft. I don't know what they do their D2 at. I would imagine it's probably similar, 59 to 60.
Yes.
When you'd rather see it 60 to 61 at least for D2. With M390, I would say 62 to 63. But yeah.
Did you put that video out yet? The Master Chief?
No. Tomorrow.
There's a knife called the Master Chief, and I was like, did they really name a knife after the Halo character? Because I don't know what else is called Master Chief besides that.
Is PMC 27 and Damas still? I know RWL 34, but not the other. I don't know the other either. I'm just so basically what that usually is because they're going to take two powdered steels that are very, very similar. So the PMC 27 is most likely just a very similar steel. RWL 34 is very similar to 154 CM. So it's probably in the same ballpark, or at the very least, it's just a steel that will mix well with it and won't affect any of the properties or the good qualities you get out of that steel.
Rob, if you're referencing what he was just saying about that bad knife with the lock bar, that's why I was asking. Was it just for a video where he was just showing the way it looked? That's why it cut it out.
I didn't review it.
It wasn't a review.
No, I wouldn't have done that in a review.
That's why I was asking, because it sounded bad. Like, you're like, I cut that part out.
No, I cut it out because it was. I was just looking at their table. I didn't want to be a dick to their table because it sounded like shit. I sounded mean. So
kind of like how I did at the beginning of this live.
It's different if I'm doing a first impressions or a review or something, because now I've tested, I've had it. I actually can say good things about it. But to come right off the bat and just say one bad thing about a knife, it's not good. And it was only a table. So and you guys shouldn't have heard it anyways. The audio picked up that. Of all things,
I know.
Fucking shit the bed on everything else, but it picks up the one time when I'm a dickhead. I'm mesmerized by that Evo Karambit. I'm playing with that CRKT Rescue Karambit. I was wanting to try.
So much fun to play with. Sorry.
That new CRKT from Tops is pretty dope. From Kaylee Cummings or whatever. Kayla Cummings. Okay, so what? Kayla Cummings. But it's done by Tops, which is USA made. That's badass. I think it's a 1095 steel. So you guys gonna update? Yeah, I already bought a microphone. I just spent a bunch of money on it.
He had an Impulse microphone.
No Impulse. I studied it. I watched multiple reviews, and I bought it, and it's exactly what we want. It's exactly what I want.
Normally, when we buy technology, it goes through the Cara filter first.
This one is one. No, because I've used microphones for so long now and had to deal with them for so long. I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Well, you bought a brand that you can go wrong with. It's just they're a little overpriced.
Yeah, but the features it had were important.
I understand.
Fire Chief or Master Chief, sorry, I believe is a firefighter term. I thought it was a military term.
Somebody just told me it was a military term. That's what Jerad said to me earlier.
Oh, crew chiefs only. I thought it was a military
Somebody
thing.
just told me. Tim said it's the highest enlisted rank in the Navy. That is such a badass thing to be called. You're not just a chief or a master. You're a master chief. But no, I know. Just when I saw that knife, I mean, everybody knows Master Chief.
Kind of like Coffee Master, right?
Yes, I too am a ranked master.
You are a master, yeah.
Yes, I am a coffee master. I always think it's funny when people are like, "Were you like a barista or something?" And I'm like, no. I'm a master. Because, like, if you get a title in your life that has the word master, you're fucking gonna correct people.
You're damn sure. You're damn right. Drob says some reviews are based purely on open box and looks. It's a whole lot more than that. Jared is into knives enough to understand the mechanics and actually sharpens knives. Yes, and I have 2 big reviews coming up very soon that are going to be very in-depth with steel tests and lock tests and everything, and that is going to be the MSI with the ram lock. We're going to really test this thing. We're going to test their smooth steel, and the tactile Maverick. So we'll see how their new Magna Cut's doing, because their new Magna Cut 63 to 64. We'll see how it does. Yeah.
When you make the ram lock video, can you please
say cram?
Insert some cram B-roll?
There they are. We were just talking about you.
The real cram, like put in a clip.
I was a cram.
Have you guys ever? And we'll get to that super chat really quick. But have you guys ever seen that YouTube video? If you haven't, it's so funny. It's this guy.
Just look up cram.
Yeah, just look up cram or something like that. It's this guy voicing over videos of rams ramming into stuff, and he keeps going cram. But there's that one where it's like a punching bag hanging there, and the ram, he's voicing it over, and he's like, as I submerge into the shadows, and I cram, and he comes out and hits the boxing punching bag. It's so funny.
Nav Sale, official with the 10 bones. Thank you, man. Happy Saturday, Neeves. Neeves gang listening in and sharpening some steel. Nice. Hell yeah.
We need a Neeves gong.
Eric, I appreciate it. So we were actually just talking about you a little while ago. Somebody was asking, where can I sell some knives? And we said nafsale.com. So there they are right there. So if you guys, anybody in here is trying to sell some of your knives, definitely check out nafsale.com. It makes it where you have no risk, because just go read all their things. There's no risk. It's only 7.5%, which you're going to have to pay. You don't have to ship out until you get paid or whatever. And they don't, it works out for both parties. So just go and check it out. I think that's how. I know I wasn't trying to shit the bed on, because I know I'm going to say something wrong and something bad, and it's like, fuck, man. Jay, do you have any? I do not have an HRC tester. I have friends that have HRC testers, but I do not have one.
Tactile has really cool
Tactile has one. Yeah. So with the testings, I could send them to people and have them HRC test them. But I'm gonna test them more so with like doing controlled tests.
Are you gonna sell one of those microtechs eventually?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, so my plan was to give one away and then beat the fucking shit out of one. And if it fucks up, then I have another one to replace it. But I'm guessing that it should survive just fine. Hopefully, maybe not. And if so, maybe we'll just give it away afterwards. We'll maybe see if Microtech will hold true to the warranty. I don't know.
Yes, Sid, I totally agree with you. You said, am I the only one that's tired of crossbar locks and button locks unless they do something different? I totally agree. I like button locks just because with fingernails they're really easy to use. So there's that. But
I like crossbar locks. I love them, but what I like,
I'm tired of them.
So I love crossbar locks, but what I love about the new crossbar locks is when they do it like what Kaiser did, where it actually has a detent. It actually snappy. Like this thing is so smells good, don't it? It's
did you feel me smelling them?
So good. This is so spongy. That's my one issue with it. Like literally, like when you break the detent, it's rough. Like, you have to kind of thwack it to make it go. You can do it, but you have to really try. With this, I just have to break the detent, and it's because they actually make sure that there's tension there, and the springs are stronger. So that would be my one major complaint. That I think it's such an easy fix. Like I can look at it and tell you how to fix it. Like all you gotta do is just drill in a bigger chamfer where where it builds up the pressure for the detent.
My toe is still
I want to
super fucked up. I just poked it and it hurts.
William says he just sold his 940 on NAF sale. Got my money really quick. Met the seller in Tri-States. Chat worked out great. Much easier than Blade Forums ever was. There you go.
A cesspool of toxic craziness. Yeah, I broke my freaking toe. It still hurts so bad. We have a mini trampoline, and it has rubber feet, and it was sitting on the carpet, so it didn't move. And I was just walking. I walk really fast, and I was walking full force, and I just kicked that thing as hard as I could. My toe is like
I
black.
actually did a full video on that tactical center. I did that a long time ago, that video.
Blade forums, I cannot go on blade forums for 5 minutes without seeing something just like awful. Like somebody just being a total asshole. It takes like 3 seconds.
I agree, Brian. I just think that, so with me personally, right, knowing what I know about the community, right, being so tight-knit with the community, I know what they want to see in a crossbar lock. So I love seeing companies use the crossbar lock, but what I want to see is them do it to a high level, right? I want them to compete. I don't want them to all just come out with a crossbar lock that has spongy action, you know, and it feel, you know, it's not satisfying. Come out with one that's satisfying. Come out with one that has a strong detent. Come out with one that has a nice pop to it. Make it a little bit more innovative, or you know, where it feels like a 2023 knife, right? And that, then I'm very happy with it. Dave with the 5 bones, watching.
God, look at his dog.
Look at that dog. Watching you not laying attention. Paying attention. Now I need a Band-Aid for my thumb. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I got myself earlier today too. Poke myself. All right, so I want to. Yes, babe.
I can't handle this light anymore. I gotta get out of this.
You gotta go. Okay, let me guess. All right, she's got eye problems, guys. She doesn't like seeing you fucks.
Yeah, you're so ugly. It's burning my eyes. I'm just kidding. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes, but they literally are like crying at the light and they're red.
She looks like she got a cut in her eye. That's what it looks like.
I made it a lot longer than I thought I would.
No,
look at my shirt. It's like still weird.
Yeah.
How does water turn a shirt white?
I don't know. All right, so
I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me show my knives, like a show and tell.
So I'm actually going to talk about that, Rod, because I think that so where's it at? Right here. So the Mannix is really good. They did a good job on their ball lock. So this ball lock has a detent. You know, it literally, I love the detent on all the Mannixes I've ever tried. I've loved the detent. So they did it right with this. Now, the same thing, like I just said, the way they did it, where the ball goes up into the groove behind the tang of the blade, acts as the detent. It's the same exact way this works, identical to the way it works. The difference is this one's shelf is much smaller, so it's much lighter. So that's all that has to be increased. Make it have more tension, and then with other knives, they need to do 2 things. Like this is I'm giving you guys the game here, right? If you have a knife company, or if you're doing knives and you need some game, I'm giving it to you right now. You need to make sure your knife has bearings, and you need to make sure that you're using strong omega springs. And then the detent needs to have a nice shelf. So when that bar's pushing up, it's not like a little half-ass shelf like this where it just has to pop out like that. Make it where it's like this, where it really has to fight its way out. So that, and that's the same way the ball lock is, the same way all access locks are, the same way this lock is. But like I said, strong omega springs, right? That will increase the tension for the detent. Number 2, bearings. That way, when you close it, it goes nice and smooth. It drops down very smooth. And then also another thing that just some more game. If you polish the tang right here, the face where the bar drags, that's super smart. If you can do that too, yeah, you're going to have phenomenal action on any crossbar lock. All right, so I want to talk about some fragrances really quick, because it is that time before we get to story time. We're running late. So this is going to go, it'll go pretty quick. So I've already talked about this one many times, and I actually have a few I want to talk about really quick, but this one is beard oil. So it's from Beard brand, and it's Bold Fortune. I've talked about it a dozen times on the channel. Bold Fortune. It is some of the best smelling beard oil I've ever experienced. It is the best. No, not even some. It's the best. Not only is it like, the scent is so good. It's got like, I even put it on like a lotion almost, because it just like, it makes this scent come off of you. I throw a little bit in the back of my head like this, a little bit in my hair. It smells so damn good. It's sweet, but then smoky, woody, very masculine. But it has that sweetness to it that just draws your attention. Even Kara, every time, that's what she was just smelling on me. Like it has this scent to it that it makes you very addicted to it. I got to buy another bottle. I bought my stepdad a bottle. I have a link down in the description for it. Now, what I was going to say is the people that bought the barbershop number 25, because I've talked about this a couple times. It smells like you're like fresh out of the barber. It's like a sweet, fresh out of the barber scent. So like if you guys have ever been to the barber where they soak your face and they give you the shave, with a straight razor and stuff, and then they smack you up, that scent, it has a little bit of that with some sweetness to it. And this is what they sprayed me down with when I go to the barber. The one guy, he sprays me down really good with this stuff. And it has a similarness to this. They're not perfect. They're not exact. They're completely different scents, but they have a similar vibe, just like with the sweetness. Now, what I'm going to say is that if you want an actual fragrance, I can't link it. I did link these two. And I linked the next one we're going to talk about, but I'm just going to pull it up. So this is an actual fragrance that, to me, it is a barber shop cologne. And I say that because it's literally just like when you smell it, it smells like you're walking into a barber shop. And it's really good. It's you can see all the things here: aromatic, fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, sweet, citrus, woody. I would say there's no sweetness to it. No, the fruity note is going to be the citrus that you get from it. So the fruity note is going to be like a pineapple, but there's no sweet to it. It's aromatic, fresh, spicy, definitely woody, definitely patchouli, definitely earthy. I don't smell vanilla. The fresh spice is very, very little spice, but it does have it in the background. But damn it, is it really, really good. And this is L'Homme Rojas, or Rojas L'Homme. Can't go wrong with it if you like the barbershop scent. So this is going to be a little bit more expensive than the two I just showed you, but this is something that'll last a very long time, and it's an actual cologne. So unlike these ones, they like this one lasts a good long time. This one, it wears off kind of quick because it's a very watered down cologne, basically. So it's more of a spray, like body spray, more than a cologne. Cologne has more oils in it, so it's going to last a lot longer. It's going to be more potent. Now, I've recently mixed these two, which this is Sauvage EDP, which is one of the best men's fragrances in the past 10 years. Has a magnetic cap. They are kind of expensive. I do have it linked down in the description, and the price isn't that bad, but the one linked down in the description, a lot of times they're a lot more expensive. But Sauvage EDP, it is one of the best men's fragrances. Now, some people would say that it's been overdone because so many guys have it, but the reason why they have it is because their ladies go to the fucking mall and they go to colognes and they smell this and they have to get it. So what winds up happening is, you wind up getting it because everybody loves it. You love it. Your girl loves it. And it's hard. It is a scent that's very hard to beat. And that's why when it hit the scenes, it like just literally swept like crazy. Like everybody wound up getting it. Now it's been out for a little while, so you can wear it without everybody smelling like it, but it is really good. Very, very masculine. I actually just showed you the scent breakdown right here. But what I was going to say is that when I mix it with this barbershop, I spray this just a couple times because this stuff is strong. The Sauvage is strong. 2 sprays with this and then spray yourself down with this. It adds a sweetness to the Sauvage that is so damn good. So anyways, figured I'd tell you guys about that shit. I know some of you guys don't care about the fragrances. I like the fragrances, so I like talking about them sometimes, and I know some of you guys do too. But yeah, the Sauvage EDP, the best Sauvage in my opinion. It's really good. Now, Dior has some great fragrances. Absolutely. I heard Johnny Depp had something to do with that. Yeah, it's a Johnny Depp fragrance, technically. Like, he's like the face behind it, but they don't make the fragrances. It's always a guy that is a professional fragrance maker, and the guy who makes Dior, or a lot of the people that are part of Dior, are like the highest level fragrance makers on the planet. So same thing with like Paco Rabanne and things like that. And it's just, you know, it's a killer fragrance. And I say that because, like I said, when it came out, I would probably 10,000, and I'm not exaggerating. There's probably 10,000 clones of this because it was that good. Like everybody smelt it and then wanted to copy it. But just get the real deal. Get the real deal. It's fucking good. And like I said, and if you're a man, especially, you know, a grown man, I don't think nobody fucking dislikes it or is gonna hate it. It's really good. I've got a bottle. Exactly. Try anything in 14C 28N for a noon knife. For a noon? Your noon knife? Don't buy one. Start with something sick. Get you hooked. What is that talking about? Jared, what is your opinion on the old Lamech Whipper Snapper Bolster Lock Sheepsfoot S90V? Is it a good investment? Yeah. I think it's expensive. So, you know, you could say it's probably slightly overpriced, but I have one right here, not the bolster one. I did get to try the bolster one at Blade Show, and I loved it. But yeah, I think that this is a knife that personally for me, I absolutely love, and I'll never not love. I think the action, the front flipper is the best front flipper you can ever find on a knife. It's so easy to use. Like, it's just so easy. There's something very clicky about it. And the reverse flick is equally as good. Super snappy. Mine's very, very smooth. Mine's an M391. I can't speak to their S90V, but yeah, dude, super solid. And as far as the bolster lock goes, absolutely go for it. I love this knife, so I'm obviously going to recommend it. I try not to go overboard with all this bespoke stuff. That's just snake oil mostly. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm aware of this stuff, but I'm too cheap to buy specialized stuff. I try not to go overboard with all this best. I don't know what the bespoke means, but yeah, man, you got to go with what you can afford, man. And that's why I try to cover every budget category in my channel. I do lots of budget stuff. I do expensive stuff. I do every budget category because everybody's price is different, right? One man's $100 is another man's 1,000. So it just, you know, I try to make it to where you get, no matter what your price is, no matter what your budget is, you're going to find what you need from the channel. But yeah, I understand. Sometimes you don't have the luxury of trying things out and being wrong, right? So, but that's why we do the reviews, so you guys can know exactly what you're going to get. Dior, Paco Rabanne, Armani, Versace is a good place to start, and got tons of fragrances between each brand. Absolutely. And I would say Paco Rabanne, go with 1 Million Lucky, Armani Code Absolute, Versace, Dylan Blue, and Dior, the Sauvage EDP. Those are the ones I would go with if I was anybody out there. That's what I'd recommend. I'm getting a tour because I want to. I heard a lot of trash talk, but I want one, so I'm gonna. Bang. Yeah, I think that the biggest issue I had with them, which they were good, it was solid, good action, but the geometry on the ones I've tried were super thick. Like, they were just a little bit too robust for what the knife's purpose was. Bespoke means highly or special high-end items for a special high-end person. Kind of nice stuff, founders. Okay, all right, I got you. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that, right? There's always going to be that. It's like, just like even like the watch world, right? There's going to be the guys who get the Rolexes and, you know, things like that. But there's also going to be the guys who just need an Orient or something like that, you know, so. But that's why, like I said, I try to provide as much as possible. Even like when I did my breakdown of my fit, I broke down from like even my best budget boots to my premium boots that I wear. Like, I try to give you guys, you know, like as much as possible to work with that, you know, that I recommend. I'm telling you, Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mail for the summer. You'll thank me. I will try that. When I was a baby, when I was a baby, there were hippie types that babysat me, and they smelled great. Believe it or not, hippie oils. I'm telling you guys, the beard oil, man, bold fortune. So I'll be honest, I've smelled most of what that beard oil or beard brand has for their oils, and they were okay. I wasn't a big fan, but this stuff is on another level. I fucking love it. And I think anybody would. It's bold fortune. I'm hoping they'll make a fragrance out of it, but they at least got the oil, which you can use as a fragrance. Jared, you do a great job. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We're about to get to story time. You guys ready for some stories? Let's get to some crazy shit. So I figured I would tell some crazy stories from my past. I didn't tell a story last week. I meant to, but I don't know. The flow was going a little, I guess good, and I just didn't feel like it was the right time to kind of break up the flow with a story. But I put story in the title, so we got to do story time. I like the info. It is real matched to my thoughts most of the time, but I like to hear your perspective, whether or not I agree. Same. And I feel the same way sometimes about even like a Nick Shabazz video, right? Like I respect what he's got to say, and I believe he's going to be honest. So I like that about him. And I say that because I've heard him talk bad about knives that companies have sent him. Right, that's usually what I get my perspective from. Like if you're willing to talk bad, and I'm not saying you have to talk bad about a product, but I'm saying like if it's a not a good product or something's wrong, and you don't call it out, and it's obvious, like I can see it right down the screen or whatever, and you don't call it out, which he always does. So I respect that. But then there's also times where like he bitches about something that I don't give a fuck about, like pocket peckers. I don't give a shit about a pocket pecker. I got one. No, I don't. I've never had a flipper tab bother me in my pocket. For me, budget under 50, mid 50 to 125 high, 125 to 250 premium, 250 to 400 luxury, above 400. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's, or not everybody, a lot of people's. I would say the majority is usually right there. Also, Jared, I was talking to Knife Nut 69 about beard oils, and he said Stevie stuff. Okay, I haven't tried anything from him. Daniel Cad with the 2 bones for the s'mores for story time. Yeah, buckle up because we're about to do a dive. Jared, I'm not convinced about Magnica only because it seems like no one is consistent with the heat treated 63. Am I wrong here? No, you're not wrong. I would say that a lot of companies are coming on board though. So we have, most of the companies have changed it. So Medford, Hogue, Protec, Tactile, Spyderco, a bunch of the custom makers, like a lot of companies have turned it to 63 to 64. Chris Reeves. So, and the list goes on. So there's a lot of companies doing it very well. Now, yes, there's going to be the ones that don't, and that's why we have to call them out. And that's why we have to give them shit until they fix it. Or not, Honest reviews are the only way to go. Yeah, but you're gonna see some that aren't, and it just is what it is. Like some people, it might not even be that they're intentionally not trying to be honest or anything like that. It's just that they're not probably thinking about it in the same way that you might because of the things that mean something to you, right? Something might mean something to you that doesn't mean anything to them. It's around 500 CRK hinder, seems the destination prior to financial insanity is around $500 prior to insanity. All right, so you like my pop stories? Yeah, I like telling my pop stories, but today I'm going to tell a little bit of crime, and I'm only going to talk about this crime because it's very petty. very petty, and but it's not though at the same time, but it is very petty, and people already got busted for certain things, and the time has been entirely way too long for me to get in trouble for any of it. So I am free to talk about it without any risk of getting in trouble. So basically what I'm going to talk about is we'll just get into it. So, you know, I've told stories about my past, and just so you guys know, I'm not glorifying it. Those of you that are new here, right? Because I don't know how many people are in here, but those of you that are new here and maybe haven't heard my stories, you know, I got a pretty crazy past, and I've done a lot of bad things. And I'm not trying to advocate for anything that I talk about as like it was good. I'm not trying to glorify anything, and I don't ever want to come off that way, because some people take it like I'm glorifying it or talking good about certain things. Like I 100%, I've said it 1,000 times, I was a bad guy and I've done bad things, and I 100% you know, take account for that or whatever. I'm just being honest. And, you know, even if I joke around a little bit about it, that doesn't mean that I'm not taking away the severity of some of the things and some of the things that I've done, the people I've hurt, just the problems, like all the shit that I've been through, that I 100% caused, or, you know, as a cause and effect. You know, I'm not glorifying. I just want to make that clear. Sometimes I talk about it in a funny way because it's kind of funny to me, but it doesn't mean I don't take it seriously, right? It's just, it's been a long time now. And anyway, so I told you guys how, you know, I used to do like heists and shit like that, and lots of burglaries and robberies and blah, 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 blah. And those times, like there was things that I would do that were very, very planned, like meaning like sometimes it'd take a month to plan, sometimes longer, sometimes months, sometimes, you know, it wouldn't take that long. It just depended on what the job was and what it was, blah, 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 blah. But over time, over a long period of time, after you could, because I started getting addicted to drugs, and I've talked about that too. I wound up getting addicted to drugs. You start getting pettier and pettier, right? And it's just the way things go, right? You get pettier and pettier and pettier and pettier to the point to where you're doing petty shit. And the reason why is because before, with planning and doing like real jobs, like real, not like actual work, but like, you know, licks, when you're doing like real robberies or anything like that, it's you have time to plan. But when you start getting more and more desperate, you need fast. It needs to be fast, and also little risk. So it's almost like little risk, little reward, but it's fast, right? So there were things like that we were doing to get money that that wasn't, I mean, it's still bad, but it's not that big of a deal. I guess it's still bad. But my one buddy wound up getting busted. He wound up going to prison for 3 years, and a whole bunch of shit happened to him while he was in prison for one of these things. And like one of them was, we were heisting batteries, right? So we were stealing batteries, and I'm talking about, I couldn't tell you, when he got busted, it was over $80,000 worth of batteries is what he wound up getting busted for. And that's like not even probably a tenth of it. Like, you guys can use your imagination. A lot of fucking money in batteries, because batteries are worth a lot of money. So when you sell them, whether on the secondary market or to a scrap yard, you can get money. So there's so much weight, you get so much money, or you can actually sell them individually if you have connections and people, right? There's people that have truck yards and things like that that'll spend a lot of money for good batteries. So it's just a lick. So we were going and getting all different kinds of yards and places with, like, you know, thousands of semis and shit like that, just like just stacking up. Like there were times we had trailers and would just like fill them. And then there were also the petty things, and a lot of people know about like copper licks, right? People stealing copper, right? Well, that's the reason why people do that, is because it's easy. It's so easy, and it's a lot of money. Like copper is anywhere usually between $2.50 and like $5 a pound. So when you can go into a place and come out with $500 to $1,000 in, you know, just one sitting, then there's times where there's places that have a lot more than that. If you're hitting 2 or 3 places in one night, you know, you got a good chunk of change for the night, right? It's not that much money considering, but the risk is very low, right? Because you like, I probably shouldn't talk about this to give people the game, but you can go on realtor websites and you can look at the pictures and you can see the pictures of all places that are up for sale that and they show you the insides and they show you the basements, they show you and that's why I tell you guys, if you guys ever have your fucking houses on real estate things, be careful with what you show, because people are watching those and looking at that to see what they can get from that place. And sometimes when you look and you can see the basements, the pictures of the basement, you can see 100% like it's not a finished basement, so that means it's going to be easy. And like there's little details that say that this is going to be easy to do, or details that say there's going to be a lot here. And then those are the high risk places, the places that are easy and there's a lot. So, and there were times, man, if I added up the damage, millions of dollars in damage, 100%, millions and millions of dollars in damage. I remember one time there was this place that the water line wound up getting cut before the cutoff, and which is stupid, but just the way their cutoff was very stupid, but it wound up getting cut, so the place filled with water. And I mean filled until somebody came in there, which could be a week. So the place wound up like filling like 6 feet of water inside the basement. Like you can imagine all the damage that did. But then also just the damage of going in and getting in and ripping everything out and all the shit. The banks wind up paying a lot of fucking money, like a lot of money. So yes, it's a lot of money in damages. And like I said, I'm not glorifying here or anything. I'm just saying things that happen. And then a lot of people can learn from this and learn not to do certain things so that they're not at risk for it. But anyways, so one time I was in a house, and I've told this story before. I was in a house because there was a company that was about to buy these properties, right? There was a bunch of properties, and I knew that these properties were like heavy, like they were like there was tons of fucking copper in them. Like I mean, like big, like instead of being plastic PVC drains, they were copper drains. Like it was so much that you were guaranteed to get $2,000 to $3,000, in an hour or two. So, and I knew the person who used to previously live at this place. So and like this place is going to be knocked down, by the way. Like it's about to be demolitioned and it's going to be literally scrapped. So the way I'm looking at it is like, I can't let this go to waste, right? Why would I they're just going to they're just going to knock it down and rip it out and like they're sift through the shit. Like they don't need this. They don't want this. So, at least that's what I told myself in my head. So I went in there and then I knew the person that, like I said, who used to live there. Well, my old man told me stories about this motherfucker hiding money in the walls and shit. Sure as shit. When I'm ripping out this stuff, $5,000 smacks me in the head and falls to the ground. I'm like, what the all this money. And obviously, racked all that up. And what's crazy is that I found that on the second day. And the reason why I would never go twice in a row, unless if there was like a guarantee, there's no way anybody knows anything, sees anything because of the situation. Like I said, this place was abandoned, was going to be knocked down, all these things. So I knew nobody had seen it. So the second day I went was when that happened. So I had already pulled like maybe $1,000, $1,500 worth of shit out of it. And then the second day, $5,000 hits me in the head. And I was only halfway through what the amount of copper that was there. So there was still a whole nother $1,000 probably worth of copper in there. And, but yeah, it was just crazy that my dad was right. Like I couldn't believe my dad was right about that. Because my dad, would talk a lot of shit about a lot of things. But he was 100% right, because he would tell me, like things like, after I got abandoned, he's like, you should go in there and go and look through these places. I'm going to tell you where to look. He's like, there could be money stashed in there. And sure shit, he was right. There was fucking money stashed in there. All right. But anyways, so like, obviously there's so many other like licks, like from, stealing different things and, from tools to power equipment to literally big equipment, bobcats, shit like that. There's lots of fucking things, that you can go down the list. But the petty shit is what I'm talking about right now, because it's not funny and it does suck. And I'm sure a lot of people, were not really hurt physically, but you know, definitely the banks and shit got hurt over it. And yeah, it just, you know, like I said, you wind up getting to a desperate place to where you need money fast, quick, and it's a fast way to get money. But it's not honorable at all, obviously. And you wind up because like it makes you such a piece of shit, you know, over a time, because it's not like I guess when you're in your head, when you can justify certain, you know, robberies and heists and things like that. You can, when it's like planned and like there's like a really big thing you get from it, like it's different, right? But when it starts getting petty, it seems so scummy. It's just different. So you wind up becoming like the scum of the earth doing the shit, and that's basically what happened to me in the end. But you know, and it's just a spiraling thing. Obviously it's a spiraling thing, but you know, and that's why like I can say so many stories of like crazy shit I've seen, because it's not like, you know, because this went on for a super long time. In your head, in the moment, you can just find right for sure. Yeah, you, especially when you're desperate. That's the thing. When you're desperate, when you're, and some people don't know desperate, they really don't. Like when I hear people say certain things like, oh, I would never do this or I would never do that, all I hear is, you've never been desperate. And I mean real desperation. And I like to use this example, right? You have a kid and your kid is crying that they're hungry, right? And I mean looking at you, crying their eyes out, saying they're fucking starving, and you can see that they're hungry. What are you going to do? Right? Like, obviously any father is going to do whatever they have to. They're going to go and try to work, they're going to try to do whatever. But then there's times where it's such a desperate situation that you can't just go out and work and make money and then buy something. You don't have time, right? You don't have time, so you get desperate. And yeah, of course, like there's even things that are not to that level, but the point is though, is that when you get real desperate and you have real desperation, everybody everybody in here is willing to do things that they do not feel comfortable with and would not like and would look down upon if desperate enough. You know, it's just life, you know. Scum of the earth is a good rap. Well, Jared, at least you didn't start the pimping game. I can imagine you in a pimp hat with a pimp cane. Can you though? I actually I did not ever do that. Never did that. But I almost had somebody try to pull me into doing that. But no, I don't like that. I hate that. So I would never do that. I bought two cool knives this week, a tiny Cold Steel Tonto and an Ontario 499, the cheaper version. Very cool. Hungry kids make poor decisions. Facts. It's the reason my old man fed all the kids in our area and our place never got touched. Yeah, no. See, and my dad did that stuff too. My dad was like so good to people around. He took care of everybody, you know, and that's just how he was. Like even when we'd go like when we'd work in certain areas that were like super bad, like really fucking bad places. Like these places, people are getting murdered. Like it's just crazy. He would be so cool to everybody. He, you know, he'd help them out, buy them food, whatever. It was always so cool. Give them work, give them jobs. And so my dad always had that level of respect from the community and from the people, right? He also did his gangster shit too, but you know, but that just comes with the territory. Um, but he was always good to a lot of fucking people and, you know, would help a lot of people out. So then I became like that too, right? Obviously. So I became that way and, you know, would constantly help, you know, as much as I could, you know, the kids and the people out in the neighborhoods, help people work on shit, move stuff for them, help them move in or out, you know, fixing their fences, giving them food, giving them money, you know, helping them turn their power back on because the electric company came and turned it off, like all kinds of shit. Uh, but yeah, you know, and you're poor, man. You definitely you do certain things in certain times because you can justify it because, and this is huge, because you need it more than the other person. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but if you've ever been put in a situation where you actually need that very thing that person has more than they do, it's easy to justify why you can take it from them. And I'm not saying that's good, and I would never do that again. So I don't want to make it seem like I would, because I wouldn't. But I'm saying when you've when you've gotten to a point to where, and that's why I know now, like, never to get to that desperate point again, right? You got to do the right behaviors. And that's why I think it's very important to be very consistent and on top of shit, and, you know, be productive as much as possible with everything and not doing illegal and bad shit. But when you get in the crime and shit, and it's just like, you know, winds up snowballing into, you know, the end, or the, you know, what winds up happening, you know, over time, you get so desperate. And then there's times where somebody has something and they don't need it more than you. And that's the truth, right? It's kind of like I was just saying, like if you had a daughter, right? You have a daughter or a son, let's say daughter, because that just seems even worse, and they're starving to death, and somebody has food next door. You're good. Of course you could ask for it, right? Of course you could ask, but let's say that's not possible. Let's say that's not possible. Like a store, right? You can't go into a grocery store and say, hey, can you give me some food? They're not going to do that, right? So you're more likely to take it from them. You're more likely to pocket some food and bring it back, you know, to help feed your daughter, because, you know, and you would, trust me. Anybody who says they wouldn't is lying. They just, you know, they haven't been in a situation where they felt it was necessary. But trust me, you would. You really would. To be honest, I've done scummy shit for less than that, Jared. Not proud of it, but I can't deny it, right? And you know, I could go on to some real scummy shit, trust me. Like I hold back on a lot of like the really, really bad stuff, and then the really, really scummy stuff. But yeah, it just, you know, it's part of the streets, you know, especially when you get caught up in the streets, man. Like, oh yeah, and I was gonna tell a story. We have time, fuck it. I know it's already time to stop, but I'll tell this last story. This is completely a change of scenery, right? Complete change of topic. Oh, Dukes of Hazzard, thank you, man. Word. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, so this story is about it's about somebody else, but I'm not gonna say who they are or anything, but I'm just gonna tell a little story. So, and I kind of told this story a little bit before, but this is a guy that that I kind of grew up with. I know him very well. You know, like I say grow up with, but like not like as a kid, but like as a young adult to adult, and I've known him for like ever. And but the first time I ever seen him, I was in the projects of North Chicago, in a really bad neighborhood, and I'm out in the front yard with some friends, family, whatever, and this car comes by, a drive-by, and there's this guy that we know across the street, and he drives by and he's shooting at this dude, right? So he's shooting at him, pow, 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 pow. The dude hits the deck, right? Hits the deck and spreads his arms out wide. Like there's like almost like a little hump, and you watch all the bullets hit the dust, right? Around this guy. So he gets lucky, like doesn't get hit by nothing, but you see all the dust. Well, then a week later, same exact thing happens, except this time the dude that was getting shot at had a gun, and so he's getting shot at, and he's pulling a gun, he's shooting back, right? So it's a shootout. And I didn't know the whole time who it was that was shooting at the dude, right? Well, then, like, I don't know, like 6 months later, a year later, I don't know, maybe like 6 months later, I hook up with somebody and I become really good friends with this dude, and not knowing that he was the shooter that day, right? And then I found out that he was, and you know, it was just crazy that he was the one that was doing that. But then me and him wound up going through years of like different things. Like one time he was running from the cops, and he if you guys don't know what ghost rode your car means, he jumped out of his car while it was still moving, so that the cops had to chase it, you know, so that he could run. So he was getting chased by a cop, had a gun on him, had some drugs on him, and ghost rid it, and then ran through the woods, and then called me. Right? And I told him, you know, go to my house, open up my door's unlocked, just go in there. And then the choppers came, and they were surrounding everything, like dogs, just everything's going crazy. And he's freaking out, like the dogs are going to track him to my house, right? And because the helicopters have like that heat thing, you know, where they can see stuff, I start telling them to hug my fridge, you know, because because appliances give off heat like a human does. So I told him to hug my fridge. So he's standing there for like an hour hugging my fridge so that the choppers don't see him. But no, they searched for hours, realized they lost him. He turned the car in and stolen, right? So he didn't wind up getting in trouble for it. Even though he did run from the cops and bailed on him. And anyways, so funny as shit. But then I wound up getting locked up. I actually got locked up with him for a little bit, just for a few days. But he was known as the shooter, and in lockup, so everybody knew him as the shooter, right? I knew him from his name, his street name, and everything. But because me and him were such good friends, right, and he was labeled a shooter, he had, I want to say, a lot of clout, but it kind of gave me a little bit of clout too, because me and him were such good friends. So it made my time very easy being locked up. Because just certain people have, certain reputations. So it makes it easy if you know them personally, right? Like, just like when I got locked up the one time, I had the homies come up to me and ask me, like who I was, what neighborhood I was from, all that good shit. And they usually, if you are from the streets, right, then you usually know somebody. You'll know somebody that you can verify to. So you can tell them somebody, they can make a phone call. And I, and then there was this one time where I knew exactly who to call, and I actually didn't call them, but I told them who to call, and to verify who I was and that I was all good. I wasn't a snitch, wasn't a rat, blah 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 blah. And I've always had that, which is really lucky for me, that because so when things happen, I kind of have a little bit of a heads up on people, because I have that a good reputation on the streets and things like that. So when I would get in trouble, bad things wouldn't happen to me when I was locked. Not saying I didn't get into fights and stuff getting locked up, but I mean to the point to where you're being extorted or anything like that or whatever. No, man, fucking missing. He shot himself one time. This motherfucker shot himself. Technically, it wasn't him. It was his buddy, but his thumb was over the barrel, and he fucking blew his thumb back like that. And I remember when I seen it, the next day or 12 hours later or whatever, I was like, dude, why don't you go to the fucking hospital? He's like, I did. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. That's all they could do, because they sewed it back, but it didn't look like it. It looked like his thumb was inside out, but they had already did what they could. And yeah, fucking blew his own thumb off. Shit happens. I mean, fucking, I've accidentally shot people too, so I can't really speak. But yeah, he shot himself, and I think somebody else is the one who pulled the trigger. Like, they were like passing the gun or something like that, and he put his hand over the barrel or something. I think that's what happened, something like that. But stupid. But yeah, I wouldn't speak on it. Like, if he ever did have bodies and stuff like that, I wouldn't talk about that. But I can talk about, like funny shit where people are getting shot at and nobody's getting hit. The shooter that misses. Yeah, society could take a lesson. Bevel. What's a knife bevel? What's a knife bevel? The grind on a knife. This is the bevel. There's the edge bevel, and then there's the grind bevel. So this is the bevel right here, just the grind, the knife grind. Then there's the edge bevel, which is just the edge. I knew someone that blew off their fingers and nuts. That's crazy. They must have been shot downward, I'm guessing. That sucks. That's a tough one, man. The guy was too professional to be handling that gun. Exactly. That's so true. My dad was hunting with a guy who shot his toe off resting the gun on his foot loaded. Yeah, I knew of somebody at the range that actually shot themselves in the foot. They were excuse me. They were doing like fast draws, like trying to do like, fast draw, but wound up like pulling the trigger while pulling it out and shot themselves in the foot. Luckily, it didn't fuck them up. Like, it shot him, but like not bad. Like, it didn't go through and through, like grazed him, and he got lucky. Shot in the face with a single buckshot. What is that about? I got shot in the face with a potato cannon. Daniel with the 2 bones, quote of the week, hug the fridge. There you go, hug the fridge. No, dude, like I can't express how funny this is. Like, I know it's not funny to you guys, but telling somebody I wound up having to go and get him and putting him in my trunk and getting him out of there and shit. Like, but to tell somebody to hug a fridge and then calling them back like an hour later, like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? I'm still hugging the fridge. Right? Because you're so desperate to not get caught. And I know that desperation. That's why I told him to go right to my house, go to my house. Like, you know, he was my homie, you know, I'm not going to let him down. And, but I know that desperation, right? In that exact same neighborhood, I had ran from cops multiple times. So, you know, I know what it's like to be on a chase and need help. And I've had to make that call. I've had to make that call. And, you know, I knew exactly who to call. You know, I knew somebody that would make a couple other calls and would set up a team to come and get me, or set up a few guys to come in and pick me up without a shadow of a doubt. So I knew exactly who to call that would make the other calls. And so then I didn't have to make a bunch of calls. You know, most of, you know, not most, but some people, you know, just they have that person, you know, that it's going to take care of it. Is there any decent USA made folding knife for under $50? No. Not in the USA. Not that's that decent. I mean, the Kershaw leak. Yes, you know, okay, so the Kershaw leak, if you don't mind assisted knives, then go with the Kershaws. So Kershaw has the best USA made knives under $100 that are assisted, but as far as manual knives, no. But yeah, Kershaw leak, Kershaw dividend. The Kershaw knockout and bare knuckle, I think, are discontinued. So, Jared, how'd you get shot in the face with a potato cannon and live? Those are serious. Yeah, no, it was. It was point blank too. It almost killed me. It shattered my orbital or whatever around my face, crushed all these bones, like just shattered it completely. Ruptured my eyeball. Was blind for I don't even know how long, probably like a month, like with like actual like 100% full blindness, was probably for like 3 weeks to a month. Because my other eye was sympathizing. This is what they told me, that it sympathized with my other eye. So while this one was blind, the other one was reacting the same way. So even if I could barely see out of my other eye, it was so painful that I couldn't open it, like, because they both sympathize for each other. So the pain I had in one eye went to the other eye too. So I was blind in basically both eyes, even though it was only one of them that was shot out. But no, we were shooting a potato cannon, or attempting to, and it wasn't firing. It was misfiring. And I know now what was going on, but it wouldn't go off for like 2 hours. Well, then it had sat for like 3 minutes or something, or not even. Like I wanted to see, because there's a spark. So if you guys don't know, you use an accelerant, you know, like hairspray or some sort of accelerant, and then you have a spark. Boom, it launches a potato out of a cannon. All right, it's just like a gun, it's just you're using a potato as the ammunition. So the only way for me to see the sparker on this exact one, I had to put my eye up to the barrel like that and click the thing. But like I said, it wasn't going off. Like click, 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 click for 2 hours, not going off. As soon as I put my eye there, boom, right in my fucking face. And damn near did a backflip, started bleeding out of my eyes, my face, my mouth, coughed up blood, like fucked me all up. Got rushed to the hospital, to the emergency room, and then was blind for the next few weeks. And it was horrible, man, because I actually my vision, and they said this is normal, but when my vision started coming back, everything was blue. So like when I finally started getting my vision back, everything was shapes and blue. So circles were everywhere. Like even now, if I look into the sky, I see circles, but at the time it was everywhere. Everywhere I looked, just little circles everywhere, and it was all blue. But eventually the color came back and the shape started going away. They kind of stuck around for a little while, but you know, they got better and better and better. Then eventually, you know, I healed up completely. It did take a long time though. And like I said, I shattered all the bones. I've shattered the bones in my face multiple times. Like I've had my nose broke 3 or 4 times. I've had this eye socket broke multiple times. I've had it broke with a beer bottle. I've had it broke with a potato cannon. I've had it broke. I fell one time and hit my fucking face on concrete, and broke it. I've got a lot of scars on my face from getting fucked up. But yeah, dude, yeah, when that thing went off, and this is like, you know how everybody says that your life flashes before your eyes? The exact opposite happened to me. My future flashed before my eyes. And the reason why was because when I got hit, I hit the ground so hard, like I almost did a backflip, and I jumped right back up because I didn't get knocked out, thank God. But I realized I wasn't dead, right? So I thought I was dead, realized I wasn't, because, sometimes, it takes you a second to die, right? So you're wondering, am I dying? Am I dead, right? So I jumped up and realized I'm not dead, but then my future, literally my entire future flashed before my eyes of being mutated, of literally having just a hole here, right? A sunken in hole. And that was going to be the rest of my life. So on the way to the hospital, the person that was rushing me to the hospital, I grabbed my shit and I peeled it open as much as I could. And I told him, I was like, fucking be honest with me. I said, do you see my eye? Like, is my eye there? Do I have an eyeball? And he just looked at me and goes, I think so. And that's not good news when you say, I think. It wasn't yes. It was, I think so. But the thing was, there was so much blood and everything that he couldn't tell. 2 bones for the hot potato in the face. Yeah, it was cooking as it was coming out for sure. Yet your wife finds you attractive. Tell the betas and more the men are dying and we haven't even been stabbed yet. Well, we're different than ladies. Guys are more attractive with scars. That's just the way it is. Guys can't. I'm not saying there's a limit, right? There's a limit of which you can be fucked up, but there's certain scars, eyebrow scars, lip scars, things like that. Most women find them attractive because women are going to be attracted to men that have been through the fire. It's just the way it is, right? Men or women want men that are experienced and have seen stuff, been through stuff, because that tells them that they can overcome things, that they're confident. It's like that's how you build confidence, right? You build confidence from going through shit. You build toughness and grit from being hurt and going through the fire and pushing yourself through tough situations, whether it's jobs, work, hard labor, struggles, fighting, bar fights, crime, whatever your story is, like going through those processes is what makes a man attractive. It's the exact opposite for women, though. Men aren't usually attracted to that in women because we would rather purity more than experienced, right? We don't want a girl that's experienced, at least not more than a one-night stand. Yeah, relationships. Exactly. What's up, Rocky? Anthony says utility and intelligence are the big turn-ons. Yeah, I would say confidence. Confidence is a huge one. Confidence, stoic, being tough. I think those are all a huge thing. But confidence and being stoic is a huge one. The number one thing, above all, is clout. That's just the way it is. Reputation. Because you could take the ugliest dude in the world, right? If he's got a great reputation, then you already know the end of the story. But not saying that you have to have that. But as far as for women goes, not for men, but for women, that's what women desire. But like I said, though, you can get some of that through the people around you and your environment if you play your cards right. If you're a good man, treat people right, treat people respectful, people come to you for help, right? People can rely on you. People see that. When people see that other people can rely on you without a shadow of a doubt and that you have their back, that shines something about you, right? Because people don't come and get help from people that they can't trust or rely on. The World Tree with the 5 bounce. Quick shout out to your Tactile Factory and Texas Blade Show vids. US quality shit big. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was a great time. And like I said earlier, we are going to do some really, really good quality videos moving forward. Obviously, there's going to be some that I've already filmed and stuff that I have to, that are going to kind of be more rapid, but I'm going to work on 1 to 2 amazing videos a week where I put my heart and soul into each one of them. And hopefully over the next couple months, they'll just get better and better and better and better to the point to where these videos are going to be high quality videos. So hopefully you guys watch them because I would very much appreciate feedback. I had a girl in a wheelchair once. She was a real backbreaker. Just put skiff bearings on my Vero Axon and the action is spot on. Man, my fucking my Vero is super smooth. Like already. I wouldn't even need. I got some bearings I could put in it, but I don't need to. Good sense of humor, not overly serious. Don't be a buzzkill. Well, I think that goes for just about everybody because like men want peace, right? So we obviously don't want somebody who's going to be a buzzkill. And we want somebody who can relate with our humor and laugh with us. I think that's very important for sure. I think humor is 100% very important. However, what's not is a funny guy, right? Like, not saying there's not girls out there. I'm not saying there's not girls out there because there is, but you don't want to be the funny guy, right? Because just because you can make her laugh, like I'm not saying it's not good to be able to make a girl laugh because it is. It's 100. It's like very important to be able to make a girl laugh to show that you have a sense of humor, right? Because girls are attracted to a good sense of humor, but you don't want to be the funny guy. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy that's never serious, the guy that's always joking, the guy that doesn't have a serious bone in his body. And the reason why is because to a girl, it says that he can't fight. And I hate to say it, but it's just genetics, right? Like a girl wants to know that she can be protected, defended, if anything happens to you or the kids, whatever, she wants to know that you're going to be able to be there. And a guy that makes a joke out of everything usually can't, right? He usually laughs his way out of situations rather than fucking putting his boot down and doing what he has to do to get through a situation. It's okay to make her laugh as long as you can make her scream in bed. I thought you were going to say cry at the end. You can make her laugh as long as you can also make her cry. You got to be yourself at the end of the day. Yeah, for sure. But that's why I think it's important to go through the things I said. If you go through the things that break you, that make you, then you're just going to come out that way. Right. That's why I said, like, if you go through hard hitting situations, and I don't want to say tragedies, but tragedies is definitely a part of it too. There was a thing, there's a study. It shows that, and this, you can see this in pigs. Okay. What happens to a pig when you have a pig? Does anybody know what happens to a pig when you have a pig in a home and you're feeding them and nurturing them? What happens to them? Well, just if you guys don't know, he loses his tusks and he loses his hair. He gets bald. He becomes soft. He becomes weak. He becomes fragile. Put him out in the wild within like 6 months. I don't even think 6 months, but within a few months, he grows his tusks back and he grows full of fur. You know those pigs you guys see on farms that are all pink ass? Out in the wilderness, they would be full of fur. They would be hogs, but they're not because they're taken care of. Same thing happens to humans. If you have not been through tragedy, tragedies and things like that, you don't get to grow into I want to say a tough man, but like I would say just like, and I think some boys, like if they don't, and they're always like, let's say they're babied, right? Let's say as a man, if you're babied from a childhood all the way through, well, then your growth is going to be stunted as a man. So as a man, you're going to have the mentality of a child almost, because you haven't been put through any situations. You haven't had nobody rely on you. You haven't had to fight and grit. And I don't mean physically fight. I just mean like fighting through things, like fighting to finish the job, fighting to get the job done, breaking your back over maybe moving stuff, like just these things that men go through day to day that make us, strong, tough men, that make you a reliable, tough man, right? That's the thing that's going to be attractive about you. But if you don't go through those things, then you're going to be the opposite of that. right? So I'm saying like that if you go through those things, you're going to come out that way. It's just a way it's going to be no matter what. It's kind of like you don't expect a guy to go into the Navy SEALs, right? And come out weak, right? He's going to come out a beast. I watch every video you make. Just getting into knives myself, so I really appreciate your feedback and pros and cons on every knife you film. Thank you, David. Man, I appreciate that so much, man. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. Thank you. If you had to spend a year on an island, what one knife would you bring with you? I'd probably a chopper, and because what I'm thinking about, Rich, is I'm going to want to be able to chop, and I can use the big knife for small knife things, but I can't use a small knife for big knife things. You know what I mean? I wish I could have two. If I could have two, I'd have a small bushcraft knife and one big chopper. Josh says, I'm still hairy as fuck, boy. I don't know if the hair thing applies, but I got all my girlfriends with my sense of humor. It helps you get a girl, but you need to be more to keep one. Yeah, because, well, okay, so a guy's goal is to get a girl. A girl's job is to keep a guy, right? That's usually how it goes. But in some cases, a guy does do his best to try to keep a girl. And you know, it does go both ways. Can you keep them? Like if you can, you know, get them right for a night or for a week, it doesn't do you any good if, you know, if your goal is to have a long-term relationship, right? So, thank you, Artisan. Hey, Neves, what happened with the videos from the couple in California that custom knives? Wait, hey, Neves, what happened with the video from the couple in California that custom knives for people? I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about from Blade Show, Texas. Is that what we're talking about, Steve? Let me know. Thank you again, David. Yeah, I know we're going late tonight, guys. And if you guys are bored, man, you guys can click off whenever you guys are ready. I'm gonna stick around for a few more minutes. I'm enjoying shooting the shit, but if any of you guys are getting bored with this, you guys can always obviously take off, right? But I'm gonna stay here for about 10-15 more minutes and shoot the shit. Is he talking about, oh yeah, knife modders? I talked to him the other day. They just did some posts on Instagram. Yes, thank you, Yoda. Yeah, he's talking about Richie B and Lindy Lou. So they did a post the other day on Instagram I seen, and I reached out to them. They said everything's all good. So they didn't say anything to me, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Cleaver, girl, kukri for me. Kukri would work. So jump out of the car with a tire iron for the skill set of being a dipshit. So jump out of the car with a tire iron for the skill set of, I don't know what that means. Maybe you're responding to somebody else. Not sure what that means. But it sounds like when you say that, I think of you going and cracking a heads. Jump out of the car with a tire iron or fixing a tire. That's the only two options. If you're jumping out of a car with a tire iron, you're either one, you got a flat, or two, you're busting up some shit. Seems absolutely the correct choice. All my old high school and college friends I cut many years ago. I'm a loyal person. I expect loyalty in return. And if they don't, they got to go. I 100% agree. You know, we don't get to choose family, but we do get to choose friends, and you do get to choose which family you have around you in your environment. Not always, right? There are going to be some cases where you have to tolerate people, you know, that you might not want to, but for the most part, you're in control of that. And yeah, I'm the same way. Like, and I've always been raised like and I'm not saying I wouldn't be around people like that maybe would be subject to snitch or rat or anything like that. And I'm talking about my past. I just wouldn't talk to them about things, right? Like, obviously. But when it comes down to being my boy, like, you have to have all that. Like, for me to consider you my close partner, like my friend, my best friend, like my best friend that I can call that's still alive, like my one best friend that's still alive that I can call right now. There isn't nothing I couldn't call him for. I could call him right now with some bad shit we got to go do, and he's gonna suit up and he's gonna come get me. It's just the way it is. But that would be extenuating circumstances, and he knows it, you know, because we both know, you know, our pasts, right? But anyways, the point is though, is that you want to be able to trust your friends. You want to be able to say, if you broke down on the side of the road 2 hours away, it's your friends coming to get you. You want to know that if you fucking had some credit card issues and you're out of town, you call that friend, the friend's going to send you money. All right. You want to know that they're there for you no matter what. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just the way it is. All right. I had a cousin call me the other day, right? Like, no questions asked. Whatever you need, man. And that's love. That's how it's supposed to be. But if you don't get it back, right? It doesn't have to be the exact same way, but you have to know that they'll give it back. Like, not the same thing, but I just mean like if you needed them, right? John with the 5 bones. It was cool meeting you to a Blade show. Thanks for the content and hope you liked that Texas beer. Thank you for the beer. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, he walked up and gave me a Texas brew while we were sitting there walking around. And I appreciate everybody who came up, man. It was so awesome meeting everybody and shaking everybody's hands and getting pictures and everything. So yes, thank you. And thank you for the 5 bones. I'm not sure if you'll be in Atlanta, but we are going to Atlanta. So any one of you guys are going to Atlanta, man, I'd love to meet up with you and, you know, hang out, shake your hand, talk some knives, take pictures, whatever. I'm launching a new channel called The Blade Whisperer. Nice. Good for you. Needs, let's suit up. I'm not only a supporter online. There you go. I value honesty. In my younger years, I valued politeness more than honesty, but now with the state of the world, I would rather get an honest insult than a polite lie. That's true. Well, I think that goes across the board, right? Like if you're serious, right? Because like even with my channel, I would way rather somebody leave me a comment and really be honest. Like if they thought something was fucked up in the video, or I had bad information, or maybe the sound or whatever was bad, or maybe like they're like, man, quit flicking it so much. I want to hear that feedback because I just want you to be honest with me. You know, I love it when I'm getting love and kind words. Those mean the most, you know, because it means I'm doing well. But not if you're not willing to tell me that there's something negative. So I think that goes with everything. You know, you need somebody to be able to hold you accountable and tell you the truth for sure, instead of lying to your face. Jared, would you consider reviewing a custom wallet if I made you one? If so, do you carry a lot of cards or not many? And do you carry cash? I do carry, I always carry a little bit of cash. I try to only carry about 5 or 6 cards. Right now in my wallet, I have 5 cards in my wallet right now. So I try to carry as minimalist as possible. And then, yeah, I carry a little bit of cash. I don't like folders though, but yeah, I'd check it out. I prefer minimalist wallets though. That's what I prefer. Like here's my last 2 wallets. So this was the one that I was using before. It's just got the little pull strap. You just put your cards in there. I love the pull strap idea because you can get because your cards pop out. Here, I'll show you guys really quick. So you can flip these around. You can go like this and pop them all up and get to them. Same thing with this one. I can pop it like that. So yeah, but I like them to be minimalist because I don't like a big old wad in my pocket unless if it's all cash. Then I like wads in my pocket. But yeah, I'd check it out for sure. Absolutely. Me and my fiance met you. Then when we walked off, she asked who you were. I said, bang. Then she said, oh no, that was him. The poor thing. Thank you, man. I heard so many people came up to me and I don't think they recognized my face. They recognized my voice because so many people said, oh man, I heard you talking. And he's like, and I instantly know, because they'd be like, are you Neeves Knives? Or they'd be like, hey, do I know you? And I'd be like, you might, you know, and be like, do you have a channel or something? And then when I tell them, they'd be like, yeah, I'd be like, I heard your voice. I knew it. Now, I remember back in the day, Slicey Dicey said that, you know, and obviously you hear Slicey Dicey's voice, you're going to know it, right? Same thing with me with Stasa. If I hear Stasa's voice, I know it from a mile away. So if I'm at the show and he's filming something or doing something, you know, talking to knife makers 2-3 tables down, I'll know for sure it's him. Daniel's a true beast. Absolutely. Absolutely. Neves Knives, what is your favorite $80 EDC knife? For 65, I would say the Civivi Sokoki. So I'm gonna go 65. The Civivi Sokoki. The Kaiser Escort. There's a $70-$80 one, I think, or something like that in 154 CM. But I like the 20 CV and aluminum one even better. But the drop bear is really good too. But they're a little bit more money, like $105, $115. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. MC would be easy to hear all over the place. Yeah, I think a lot of people would recognize his voice too, for sure. Nick Shabazz, I think he picks and chooses when to give it away. So I don't know if you know, unless if he gave it away. I had the same folder since high school, 20 years and still going. It has holes, but I won't replace it. You should definitely replace it, Josh. So there's nothing wrong with having a knife for your whole life, right? But there's just a time where it's like, do you want to like tear it into dust, right? If you've had it for 20 years, to me, that would be sentimental. I wouldn't want to carry it no more. I'd want to put it away, clean it up really good, clean it as good as possible, get it tip top, and put it aside so that you can have it for memories to pass down, whatever. And then bring on a new contender. Josh, bring on some new contenders. Sadly, I know Jerad ain't on Facebook. So when we upload on Facebook, I'm not actually uploading on Facebook. It's just hooked up to my Instagram. I never go on Facebook. So I've had people say like, oh, I seen you on Facebook. Like, no, you didn't. Like, I'm just posting on Instagram and it's moving over there because I don't ever go on Facebook. Hey, Jerad, can you undo a timeout made by a mod, or does it have to, or wait, does it have to time out? I am curious if you can override stuff like that. I think so. I just don't know how, to be honest. But I'm sure I could. I just don't know how. Yeah. I'm sure I could, but yeah, I don't know. I've never once. Kara knows how, but I've never once blocked, timed out anybody. I've never done anything. The most I've done, I blocked channels from putting shit on my channel because they spam, but that's different. And that's not during a live. Is Nick Shabazz that Jewish guy? I'm not sure if he's Jewish or not. He might be Jewish. I don't know. I think Nick Shabazz fakes an accent for the channel, but he values his privacy. I think he feels weird with fame. Yeah, some people are like that. Some people just don't want the fame, and some people want to be able to be, hidden, which I don't, to me, having, I guess it could happen, right? I guess, shit could happen, but everybody's different, right? I don't mind, the attention. So it's just different for me. And I don't think I could be private because I want to do so much more with the channel that it just doesn't make sense. And then because of my past, it'd be stupid for me because people would out me. All right. Like they already tried to, like the dude that tried to put my fucking criminal record in the comment section. Like, I knew that was going to happen. So like I couldn't hide. But other people can, and I don't blame them at all. Only thing is I sleep with both of my vape pens now. So it seems the problem is worse. I know what you mean. My lungs feel 100 times better from when I was smoking cigarettes. So like I was bad with cigarettes, and I do want to quit these. But yes, I did smoke. I smoked cigarettes in a bad way, like a really, really bad way. Like 3 packs a day, all night long, never not smoking. Every hour on the hour, I'd wake up and smoke a cigarette, and I'd have to go all the way outside to do it. And I was relentless. I would go. I'd go bundle up and go get out in the cold and smoke a cigarette every fucking hour. And, in my own house, I'd just smoke right in bed. Like it was bad, like really bad. Everything smells like smoke. Now I can smell smoke a mile away because I haven't smoked, I haven't smoked consistently in, a couple of years. Like I've smoked a cigarette every once in a while, when I'm with a family member or something, but but there's 6 months in between. Sometimes I even take a hit from a cigarette, and I only do that like if I'm drinking with a family member or something like that. But anyways, vaping though has made my lungs feel so much better, but I do want to start slowing down on this too. Okay, you've convinced me. What brand vape? So I did the only reason why I'm doing Juuls because they're expensive. So I don't recommend doing this, but the reason why I do the Juul is because they're at every gas station. So we Uber, right? So if I have to Uber to a vape shop every time to get vape products, it's just no good for me. I wind up spending way too much money. There's a gas station on every corner. So if I'm passing somewhere, like I don't have to have a special type of thing or go to a special place. So you got to pick which brand you want. Like I'd go to a vape shop and talk to them, especially if you drive and stuff. Just go to a vape shop, talk to them, figure out what the best of the best is, and just get the best. But I tried vapes before and they didn't work on me. This is the only one that worked on me consistently. The first ones I tried, I couldn't, it just didn't work. But then when I tried this, for some reason, I just never went back. I literally started this and never went back. It just worked. No, it is watch your enemies close, watch your friends closer. You already know your enemies. You don't know what friends will be your next enemy. Thank you for the 5 bones and well said. Yeah, I think everybody, I think you just got to watch everybody, right? And but the thing is that the ones that have already passed all the tests, right? Like I have family, friends that I don't have to watch because they're watching my back and I'm watching their backs. And it's just, we've been so consistent for so many years that we know we won't let each other down. So you don't have to worry about it. But, usually when you're around certain people, you're both watching the person, right? Or paying attention. But yeah, I like Elf bars. Thumper likes Elf bars. It's the only one that has a natural tobacco taste and the others don't. Yeah, this one, I originally started out on mint. I'm on menthol now, but yeah, I like it. But I like just having because it's a lot of nicotine. That's the reason why it worked, because I think with the other ones, they were choking me. Like I didn't like the way, because you have to know how to hit them. You can't hit them like a cigarette, and you're used to hitting them like cigarette. When you hit these, you're just inhaling. Like as you're breathing in, you're inhaling. You're not puffing. Like you don't puff smoke in your mouth and then French inhale, right? You just inhale as you're breathing. So it's different. But as long as you know that, then it'll work. But when you have like 5% nicotine in a pod, it makes it to where it's so much stronger than a cigarette that it actually satisfies you. And that was my problem before, was that I could vape all day and it would not satisfy the urge of the nicotine level I was at. Because like I said, I was in a high level of nicotine. 3 packs a day was like the least that I would smoke. Like I'm talking about I was dirty. It was bad. Recently, I've been vaping a lot of 12 Monkeys Kanzi. Such a good juice if you like fruity juices. I'm not big in the fruity. I want it to taste, maybe menthol, mint, or just whatever, tobacco. Cigars. Yeah, I like a good cigar. It's never enough. See, that's the problem with me with cigars is most cigars you don't inhale. So that's the problem with me, is I don't get the amount of nicotine I want, but I still like a good cigar. Don't get me wrong. I love a good cigar. Juul got me off the cigs. Then I bought my Caliburn and weaned down the nicotine over the years. That's what I need to do, is start weaning it down. My bud has a vape box with 20,000 hits. Damn. Where'd you find that? So those Juuls have refillable cartridges, or is it? So it's just, no, you buy this and then you can replace this. So you buy these in a pack. They come in a 4-pack, and then you just pop them out when you can see when the juice is gone. So you don't have to like replace any parts or anything like that. You just have to charge this, and then the whole system is built into this one thing. You just click it in and hit it till it's gone and switch it. They are expensive though. They're like anywhere from $16, $17 to $20 a pack of 4. Now you can get a couple deals if you buy them offline from the factory. The one thing I also like is that they also use the oils in them, because some of the people that had lots of issues with vaping was because they were buying them off of Amazon. So what was happening, and this was mostly with weed, you know, with the THC oils, the vaping from those, they were mixing vitamin E oil in it, and that's poisonous in vapor. So people were vaping it, and it would poison them, and it fucking collapsed their lungs. And they didn't realize that it was because they were buying them off of just bootleg places online. Like they were literally like probably making them in their basement, like in India or something. I don't know. But these they tell you exactly what's in them. Like it's only like 3 things that are in it. So it's really clean compared to a lot of other ones. And like I said, it's so easy to get because they're in, you know, in all the gas stations. All right, guys, we should probably end this. We went about 45 minutes over, which is awesome. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support and all the love, all the donations. Really quick, just to go over some things. Patreons, you have a giveaway coming up, and then next weekend we're doing a giveaway for the 250K giveaway. So 250K giveaway in Patreons. I want to be able to do the Patreon one right before the Saturday. So watch for that video. It'll be before Saturday. You guys we'll have the giveaway. That way we can mail them out at the same time. So Saturday, we have next Saturday, we have the 250K giveaway. Tomorrow, I can't remember if tomorrow's a Bang Gang live or not. Let me just look. I don't think it is. Let me just double check really quick. I think it's next weekend, but let me just make sure really quick. Today's date is the 25th. No Bang Gang live tomorrow. Bang Gang live will be next weekend. So next weekend, I will see you guys for the Bang Gang live and the giveaway, the 250K giveaway. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel and hits the links and watches the ads, because you guys know we only get paid off of ads that you watch or click on. Maybe you don't know that, but you know the ads you see that you can skip. If you skip them, we don't get anything. If you watch them, we get something. Or if you click on it, that's when we get a kickback. So we appreciate everybody who supports by watching those. It definitely helps us a lot, and we appreciate all the donations, all the people that use our links, all the love we get from you guys. And hopefully some of you guys are going to Blade Show Atlanta, because I'd love to meet up with you. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Peace.